Jay Thomas Show. Sirius XM 104. This is the Jay Thomas Show. The interesting, the odd, and the bizarre people behind the, interesting. The odd and bizarre stories. Jay gets in it, stirs it up, and spits it out. He's a professional. It's all here on the Jay Thomas Show with Rodney Lee Conover, Julie, Madison, Kevin Meaney, Garrett and Christina, and Ira the Weatherman. This is the Jay Thomas Show.
Yep. All right. Well, a bunch of people that did not get nominated for Oscars, like Patton Oswalt and Tilda Swinton and Albert Brooks, right? They all started tweeting yesterday and how they were all disappointed and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, what are you, nuts? Who would you... I mean, this year, the Academy has insured itself this huge tune-in. Meryl Streep could do a mayonnaise commercial. They would nominate it for an Academy Award, right? It's a ridiculous movie about a woman that no one even cares about or knows anything about, the former British Prime Minister, who was like, I mean, I would walk around the block to see that. You know, why? For what? You know? And the woman's still alive, I think. You know, she's dribbling in her own juices right now somewhere. And then Martin Scorsese did this 3D movie, right?
Hugo.
So I'm looking at this thinking, I guess it's a kid's movie or whatever, and it shows how it won all of these awards. And the winner is printed in, big letters. Winner, Best Picture. So then I look at the small print. The Nevada Film Critics Society. The Boston Film Critics Society. The Florida Film Circle. You ever heard of these things?
Never.
Jinx.
You owe me a Coke.
The Phoenix Film Critics Society. When I would do a independent movie, or like Rodney would do one, we would win all these awards too. You'd go and you'd be pretty decent. You'd do the Las Vegas Film Critics Society, the North Texas Film Critics Society, the Austin Film Critics Association. What else? The Southeastern Film Critics Association, Best Director. It's crazy. San Diego. The Alliance of Women Film Journalists, something. For the editor, her name is Thelma Schoonmaker. So the women who write gave Thelma Schoonmaker an award. Yeah, it's about... You know what? I'm not a member of the Academy, and I don't even know that I could become a member. I think you have to have had films that they think are of. You have to have done enough films to where they think you deserve to be in the Academy. Rodney Dangerfield was not allowed to be in the Academy that votes for the Academy Awards because they said that his films, didn't live up to whatever their criteria was.
Natural Born Killers wasn't good enough?
Rodney Dangerfield was in Natural Born Killers?
Yeah, he was the dad of the woman.
Right. He should have gotten in for he should have. Yeah, right. I don't have a list of who's a member of the Academy, but I'm sure we're going to, find people in there that, we'll laugh at. That guy who does the Twilight movies is probably a member of the Academy or whatever, right? So all these people are going, what? And then the silent movie is driving people nuts. Well, I agree. John Goodman is in that. I bet you that when John got the script and saw that he didn't have to memorize any lines and, he could smoke a cigar and sit behind a desk, I mean, he probably said yes in 2 seconds. Can you imagine what he thought of a guy sending him a script for a silent movie? I mean, there's no way, you know how it's, how it's going to turn out. I mean, it's not like a great career choice, right? It's weird.
There's no way that without words it's actually harder.
Well, you don't know how any movie is going to turn out, but the one that's silent from some director named, Hammer Schwitzovich or whatever the guy's name, it's weird. It's just odd, But, so they nominated that one. That's kooky. Who knows how they did it? Anything Brad Pitt is in gets nominated, right?
Uh-huh.
And Jonah Hill was asked why he's done like 2 or 3 kind of semi dramas.
Yeah.
And he's very good, by the way, very good. He did one with John C. Reilly, and where Reilly played, I guess, his soon-to-be stepdad or something. I forget the name of that movie, but he said that he moved to drama because he had done all of these comedies, and they've been ripped off every which way. So Jonah Hill says that all of his great comedies were ripped off, meaning people saw him do something and then they put out a movie just like it. That's crazy. That's nuts, So now he's a dramatic actor. Janet McTeer playing a man who no one's ever heard of, and you got Glenn Close playing a man. Christina, would you ever go see a movie with Glenn Close playing a man, a butler?
Probably not.
No.
No.
Would you rent it on TV and watch it?
Probably not.
No.
Now,
I don't even think I'd watch it if it was Play Now on Instant Queue. And
it got bad reviews, and it's really weird. It looks weird, but it's Glenn Close. See, so you got all these people. They're going to come to the award ceremony. Now, here's the weird thing: who are these people that are voting? I don't know how they do the voting. I have no idea. But they're actors, but they're not working actors. 95% of all actors in every union, the Academy, and everything else are out of work. 95% of the time. It's just the way it is. But they know that if all these people show up, and then you got Tom Hanks in the thing, with the little boy that's autistic running around looking for a lock to fit a key after 9/11. Oh my God!
Forrest Gump?
No.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but one of the saddest episodes, in the history of the United States. I don't feel like going to see a movie about it right now. And then it's a dramatization.
Oh, the 9/11 movie, yeah.
Yeah, it was a dramatization of a little boy who was autistic, and he loved his dad, and his dad died, and he finds a key, and he runs around New York City looking for the lock that fits the key. Now, of course, as soon as they did, The Help, that's going to get nominated. Then the horse movie's going to get nominated, right? So they got their animal movie. They have their minority movie. And now they've added a silent movie. I think it's pretty funny.
What about what Blockbuster? Like Avatar or...
No, they didn't have... Well, Avatar may not be in this year. The George Clooney movie is a drama. I mean, that's going to get nominated because... I don't know how much money that made. I hear it's very good, but it's also, very, very sad.
What was Patton Oswalt in that he got snubbed?
I don't know. Something. He was good in it, I'm sure. He's a good actor, but he got snubbed in something. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. He's a dramatic actor now, too. Then you go. The blockbuster was Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Was that a blockbuster?
I think to them it was, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was perceived as, but...
Then you got Rooney Mara. But the Meryl Streep movie, The Iron Lady, is not a blockbuster at all.
Mm-mm.
So people are always saying to me, wow, how do they get, how do you get nominated? There's a ton of money spent, and there's ads and the whole deal. But, at the end of the day, it's a TV presentation, and they want to have... the Melissa McCarthy who's on the TV show about the two fat people. She's a comic. She's in Bridesmaids. Right. Well, she was nominated as a supporting actress. Now, it was very funny, but you've seen this character a million times.
Is she the one that shit in a pie or something? Or that was The Help, but then Bridesmaid, she shit somewhere?
Yeah, they
in
all...
the street or something?
That was, what's her name?
Oh, right. No.
Maya.
Had to run across the street.
Rudolph?
Yeah, she's the one that shit in the street in a wedding dress.
But I thought in the Golden Globes they kept bringing up that fat woman.
Was she because she shits in the sink?
Oh, she sits in... Oh.
They all get diarrhea. Yeah, they get diarrhea.
Food poisoning. Oh. Garrett's no stranger.
So she's nominated, but, she's on TV and all that. And Michelle Williams, I said yesterday, the Marilyn Monroe thing, to me, that was a TV movie. It's a ratings thing. I mean, you're going to get all these big stars there. It's, I don't know what movies ought to be nominated or not nominated, but the Marilyn Monroe thing, having somebody pretend they're Marilyn Monroe, if you go to Universal Studios, there's a woman that's the perfect Marilyn Monroe. Sings like her, looks like her, has the same body shape. For those of you that have been to the Universal City in L.A. or in Orlando, there is an absolute perfect replica, and there's a bunch of them. Did you not work at Disneyland, Christina?
I worked at Disney World.
Disney World. There was a Marilyn Monroe there? Probably not.
Not Marilyn, but Marilyn-esque.
Really?
Right.
Just that time period, because I worked at, it was called MGM Studios, but now it's Hollywood Studios.
Right.
So it was very, glitzy, glammy.
I mean, I'll be, you'll be in Hollywood, and there'll be people coming up to you, and they imitate Clark Gable or Cary Grant, and they look just like him, and they trot them out there. Why didn't they go, instead of having her go to all these classes and gain weight, and just go to Universal Studios and hire one of the people that does it for a living? Or call one of those companies that puts these lookalikes at parties. They are exact replicas of the people. It's really, you can get a George Clooney if you want to. Put him in the thing.
Why don't they just do that with every movie then?
Well, no, when you do a famous person, why? There's people that already imitate him.
But why hire George Clooney to do a movie? Just hire the lookalike.
That's what I would do. You ever see a commercial? You ever see a commercial and somebody looks exactly like a certain star?
Oh, yeah, and they do it on purpose.
Well, of course they do. They know,
You should make a movie where, like, George Clooney and Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, all the famous people are in it, but it's just all lookalikes.
Didn't Kim Kardashian sue somebody because of that? Old Navy, I think. She was almost in a lawsuit with them because they hired somebody that looked exactly like her.
Yeah. You cannot sue anyone for a lookalike unless you say they are that person. Mm-hmm. The Woody Allen voice, for years, they used to use guys that did the Woody Allen voice in commercials and stuff. And I think he sued them, and maybe they went to court, and they would have to ask people, did you think it was Woody Allen, his voice? I don't know how that turned out. But maybe in something like that, you would absolutely assume it. But didn't one company use somebody's name? They said somebody's name in an ad, and the person sued them because they used their phrase. Oh, Lindsay Lohan.
Mm-hmm.
They used something about Lindsay Lohan or maybe Paris Hilton that was a saying, or they called the girl Lindsay in the ad who was a drunk.
Yes,
that's what it was. That she was a drunk. Now, we don't follow these things. Let's go to Chris in Michigan. 8884-102-102. Yes, Chris.
Hey, how are you, Jay?
I'm fine.
This is
I'm fine. I'm doing good. Chris, when I talk to a guy like you, you know exactly what I'm doing because
I know, because
you know all about it.
307 and 309, you said 11 times.
That's part of my bit, man.
Well,
it's part of my deal.
I know everybody loves the Oscars, but it's so boring. You got to find other things to do. And instead of driving off the side of the road and hitting a tree, I thought I'd count.
So you don't like talking about the Oscars, so you counted how many times I said so you don't run into a tree. That's sad. You know how sad you are? It's sad.
No,
it really.
Tell me.
You know what? I'll tell you what. The next time I think my life, I'm gonna. Next time I think that my life is bad, I am gonna write Chris of Michigan down and go. No matter how bad my life is, it's 10 times better, or 11 times better. Ooh. You heard me say 11. 11 times better than Chris of Michigan.
But it was better than counting out the burned out houses here in Detroit.
Is that what you do for a living?
No, I sell to people that don't burn down houses, that actually put them out. What
do you sell?
Fire gear.
That's good. All right, thank you, Chris of Michigan. I'll try not to, it. It's my trademark, though. It's my big trademark. So, that is like the election last night. The Romney, you guys. No, I never hear anybody talk politics. No one ever. But in every newspaper, it's the headline. You listen to these talk radio shows, you're bored after 10 minutes, everything else. So Mitt Romney only pays 15% taxes. Do you know why, Christina? You pay 28%.
Well, I'm not really sure, but I think it has something to do with the fact that he doesn't have an actual job. It's the way that he makes his money, that he beats the system somehow.
You think he's beating the system?
Well, I don't know if he's actually beating the system, but he made like something like $57,000 a day.
Well, he doesn't have a job.
$6.3 million in taxes on like $50 million something, and it's because he doesn't actually have a job, right?
Yes, but why? But where does that money come from?
Investments.
Because investments pay much less taxes than income. Income taxes go from 28 to 35%, right? So you pay 28%. So this is what they keep saying. Well, poor Christina has almost a double tax rate from a guy like Mitt Romney. You might not even
fair, Jay.
Really? So you might pay $3,000 in taxes. He paid $4 million, but somehow to me it's weird. Now here's what it is. It used to be 20%. It's if you get your money from investments. Now, people that have retirement funds, which I have one also, when we start getting our money from investments, we're going to pay 15%, as long as it isn't considered income. So there's a lot of people, Democrats and, some people that might have a couple of $100,000 in investments, when they get profits or dividends or whatever out of those investments, they only pay 15%. So they're up there yelling about Mitt Romney. Guess what? Keep yelling. You'll be paying, 28% soon. That's the weird part of it. So you look at that and you go, well, I like paying 15%. And then they say, doesn't it help the economy? Yeah. Mitt Romney hires more people to wash his cars or to cut the grass or build that giant mansion of his. So that's what they're saying. They have more money to spend on other stuff. I don't know. That's the big thing right there. And I look at the thing and I go, I don't want to be given 28% either. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea. I mean, if they just gave me all my money and I didn't have to pay taxes, I would just build a higher fence around my house and I'd put the holes in the concrete wall, Garrett, so you can put the guns through there like they did in the old days, and then let them come get me. That's right.
Protect yourself from the IRS?
From the citizens that are coming to get me because I pay zero taxes. Tiger Woods is in Dubai. You've got to see this picture. He is with 4 guys who are the princes from there, and they have their golf clubs, but they're dressed in these long white skirt outfits that the men wear with the hats. And each one of the men has like 4 wives. They're part of the princedom. They're the royalty. That's where he ought to move. Got to move there, and you can have like 5 wives and be really rich. They would go crazy for him.
It's a good point.
How do they play golf in these outfits that hold your legs together? This is out of the L.A. Times. It's a kind of a funny picture. It shows these 4 Arab guys with golf clubs on their shoulders and then tigers in the middle of them. Huh. So they all have more than one wife, each one of these guys.
Do they, or do they have one wife and then bitch it?
No. They're allowed multiple wives.
Who's the loser guys that have no wives then?
The poor. You can't support them all, the poor guys. Oh. Those are the 1%ers. They're in, Dubai, or wherever it is. Now, the women can't even go to the golf tournament. They're not allowed to go to the golf tournament. They can't drive. Now, to most women, that would be, thank God, I don't have to go to the fucking golf tournament. Thank Christ. What else? Is Shuli in New Mexico, you said?
That's what I read on Facebook.
Well, what's happening in New Mexico?
I have no idea. He didn't tell us, or
he just skirted away to New Mexico. He's a secretive little bastard, isn't he?
Really? Maybe he has a show there or something
in New Mexico. Be nice if he texted us or emailed us or whatever, something or other. They're coming out now with Mormon cookbooks because they think Mitt Romney might make it.
They cook special?
I don't know. Anything I've ever seen was either fried or mixed with a can of, soup.
Maybe everything serves 12 to 15 people.
Every serving is just for a dozen or so, right? So we're going to have to see all that. Now, there's a couple of evangelicals that are calling Mormonism a cult, and they're saying they would never vote for a Mormon. So that's got to be confusing for them, right? Very confusing.
Yeah.
Because the Mormons themselves call themselves peculiar. And they say they believe in the Bible, except they rewrote the Bible. They're peculiar. By the way, they're the chosen people. I don't even like hearing that from somebody, that they're chosen. I just have to sit down with someone and go, Jay, it's a pleasure to meet you. What religion are you? And I go, well, I'm really no religion. I was raised, Catholic. Oh, really? I'm one of the chosen people. And I would say, Jewish? No, Mormon. Chosen. You don't even want to. And by the way, Mitt Romney gave $1.5 million of the $3 million, gave half of the money he got to the Mormon church. That totally creeps me out. All of that stuff creeps me out.
It is.
It creeps me completely out.
Who actually gets that money?
Goes right to the temple. They got the hat. You're talking to a hat. And you have the golden plates.
Mm-hmm.
If I were Barack Obama, or if I was his competition, I would say stuff like the people at South Park said. I would be talking, and all of a sudden go, well, gee, Mr. Romney, why don't you go talk into your religious hat and ask your magic underwear how you would fix the economy? I would just do stuff like that.
You think that would go over well?
Who cares? Who cares? That's what you would say to him.
The best part is the guy's wife then said, well, if he could do that, have him do it again, and it should be word for word since it was translated using this golden plate. And the guy came back and said, oh, no, God changed the words on me and did it differently. And they still believed it.
There were words in a hat. And so the guy got these words in a hat. So he goes to an elder, and the elder goes home to his wife. And the wife said, if that really is the word of God, have him do it again.
Yeah.
So it was another guy. So he steals the hat that has the so-called words of God in it. And he says to the guy has totally different words and says, well, God changed his message. Look, one day, Scientology is going to be, hundreds of years are going to pass, and Scientology is going to be a religion like Mormonism and the outer space and all of that. And now they got talking into a hat and everything else. And then there's a bunch of religious people going, well, we can't believe in that. And well, wait a second. Your guy went into outer space, okay? Your guy rolled a rock back, was dead, came back to life. Let's see you do that again. If there really is somebody out there, there ought to be like a special, and they ought to have it on Fox, where a dead guy is just dead as a doornail, and he comes back to life. You got me believing right then. Why fool around? Why make it be a part of faith?
Yeah.
And then we'd all sit down to a big bowl of Mormon mac and cheese. One of their favorite recipes is called funeral potatoes, because you'd make it for like 80 people at a funeral. Funeral potatoes.
Huh.
You see, I can hear you right there. You're going to go get the recipe for funeral potatoes. Let's go to Eric of Wisconsin. Eric, have they recalled your governor there? Aren't they recalling him?
They are trying, and if they get enough signatures, what do they have, a revote or something like that?
Well, they're recalling him because he doesn't want unions anymore and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Now, I don't know. You don't know. Is he a good governor, that guy?
I don't know that much about him if he's a good guy, but they just, the school teachers and all the union people don't like him,
They're all mad at him, yeah. Well, if somebody fools with my stuff, I get mad at him too.
Right.
We recalled a really, I don't know, he wasn't a nice guy to people or whatever. They recalled the guy and they put Arnold Schwarzenegger in California. Can you imagine? This state put this big, dumb, steroided out German guy in as the governor, and guess what? He was no good. Can you imagine? And I mean it. We all looked at each other here and went, are you kidding? He did absolutely nothing. He started out, we were $50 billion in debt. He borrowed $50 billion when he got in. We're now $120 billion in debt. And he'll never run for anything again. You'll never hear his name again. Nothing. Why don't they elect Courtney Love to something somewhere? Put her in. That's how stupid it is. He was a complete idiot. An idiot. Nuts. So now they're going to recall the governor. All right, well, good. And I don't know how I feel. I don't know. I don't know if, we're not in a union. I've been in all these radio unions for years, and I'm not in I'm in the radio union, but this is a non-union store. Garrett, would you become union if they came in and tried to unionize?
Oh, God, in a second.
You would?
Yes. They
Why?
promote us and don't give us title changes. They make you work overtime and say you have to put it on another timesheet. It's just horrible.
They make you show your face upstairs.
Well, you know what? They'd find you and Christina floating in the river. Okay,
that's why we don't do it.
Right down the river. They would, and you know what? I would have to go. Garrett's no longer with us. Garrett's no longer with us. Wow. Most people, when they look at what the union offers them, it's usually less than what they're making. That's the problem. Because
no way.
Really? Okay, well, just checking.
Is that even possible?
You know what? No, it isn't. You know what? I'm sorry I said it. You two be quiet. I shouldn't have said anything. Yes, Eric, what did you call about? Well, you called about politics. You called about Mormon recipes. You called about the Academy Awards. What did you call about?
I actually called for a quick science question about outer space.
Garrett, it is Science Wednesday. I hope I have information on this. Eric, go ahead.
Jay, if I was in the space shuttle in the spare room just by myself and I came out of my spacesuit and I was naked and I started jerking off, when I climaxed, would I shoot across the room?
No. You want to hear the truth? Your semen would not come out of your penis.
Well, that's not good.
Well,
I think it comes out.
Excuse me. If you have an incredible blaster down there, it'll come out. But it has to be able to blast harder than the lack of, gravity. Your urine can come out, but if you've ever seen pictures of people spilling water or it splatters all over the place, you need a pretty big blast. Like when they eat, so your sperm probably wouldn't have enough blast to come out unless you're one of those porno stars. So you would just have this penis filled with backed up sperm. Yeah. And then when you've pissed, it would look like a big worm was coming out of you, you know?
Right.
Wow. All right, Eric,
Okay.
good. Well,
All right.
that's our first question right there on Science Wednesday. Let's go to John of Ohio. John, you say you know where Shuley is. Where is he?
Yeah, he's out there with one of Howard's whackpackers. You know that Eric the Midget,
Yeah.
the little handicapped kid, or I guess he's 30-something, but he's shooting...
You mean he's a midget. You mean he's a midget.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why they call him Eric the Midget.
Eric the Midget.
And so he's in New Mexico performing with Eric the Midget.
Well, he's not performing. He's covering it for Howard News, I guess.
What is Eric doing out there in New Mexico? What's the event?
He's going to be on a TV show in plain sight, I guess it's called. I don't even know what channel it's on.
Wow.
It's called In Plain Sight.
So they've sent Shuley as an escort.
Yeah, that's what basically.
What a life. Huh, Shuley? Unbelievable. I don't know if you're listening or not, Shuley, but what a life. So does Howard pay him to escort Eric? I guess he does.
I would hope so. I don't know.
Would you want the job, John, of escorting a midget to an appearance?
Not that one, because he's really ungrateful and he bitches all the time. But
And Shuley has to sit in the plane with him. He has to sit in the lobby, check him in, get to the place, get to the hotel, and get this angry midget squared away, and then keep an eye on him so that he doesn't disappear before the performance.
I think that's it, but that's why he gets paid the big bucks.
And people all over the television land will be glued to whatever the show is because an angry midget's going to be on television.
That's the idea.
Okay. I think that explains the Academy Awards, too, Garrett. You go with what's going to draw people. You know. Shuley could be telling jokes. He could be doing a stand-up act. No. Not necessary. Not when you have an angry midget.
Hey, Jay, not to change the subject, but I got to thank you for my golf game last summer. The chapstick on the driver.
All right. We can't. Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that. Nobody will play golf against me, and they have guys go over to my clubs and rub the face of them all the time. And I go, "What are you doing?" They go, "We know about you." I don't do that anymore. It was interesting. Did the ball go straighter and further than it's ever gone in your life?
Oh my God, it was unbelievable. I mean, I swear to God, I just got
I know. Oh, I know.
swing as hard as you can. The fucker went straight, and
you can swing. And what it does is it takes the spin off of it, so that there's no cut. So what it really does is, Garrett, it knuckleballs.
Yeah.
So when it goes to the ground, everybody goes, "Why did your ball do that?" Because it drops like a sinker ball.
yeah, it's fantastic.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. I'm glad. I'll never use it again, ever.
Okay,
Never.
me neither. But
Let's go to
thanks,
Bill. Thank you. Bill of Arizona, you're close to New Mexico. Will you be driving to New Mexico to see the angry midget with Shuley?
I will not, but Shuley's there as a reporter. Eric's got his own handlers because he is, like the other guy said, very angry. But Shuley's just there covering it for Howard 100 News.
Wow,
so he doesn't have to watch over him or anything.
Well, what's the show that he's on?
It is in plain sight with Mary McCormick. I think it's USA Network. It's a weekly show.
They have hired Eric the Midget as an actor.
Yeah. Eric the Midget likes to be called Eric the Actor, though, so don't say midget in front of him.
That's unbelievable. Now, do you think it's because Mary played Howard's wife in Private Parts?
Well, actually the producer is a big fan of Howard's show, and this Eric's been on. Eric has been on Fringe even because of being a whack packer. So this isn't the first performance that he's been on.
Is he good?
No.
So they hire him. He's terrible, but they keep hiring him. Now, of course, There is there's a real actor
in a wheelchair.
He's in a wheelchair all the time?
Yes. He's got a club foot, and I mean, he's really screwed up. So it's not like he's running around or doing anything.
Attention, producers that are big fans of Howard's. You know, I'm an actor. Yeah, I'm an actor. I mean, I can really act. I know how to do it. I know all where the camera is. I know how to deal with the lights, all of that stuff. And you hire me, I'll act stupid, but it's acting, see? But I know how to do it for you big producer fans of the Howard world. That's unbelievable. They hire an asshole midget to take some poor starving actor's job. That's right. Sad. That is a sad commentary.
Well, it's good talking to you, Jay.
Thank you very much, Bill of Arizona.
Yep.
Shuli, did you know that Eric has acted in a couple of things?
My name's Garrett, but no, I didn't.
I mean, Garrett, did you know that Eric has acted? I'm stunned by this. I can't even
really
keep the names
in
straight.
That circle. I don't know all the guys.
No one's ever called to hire Ira to act. No.
No, people tried to get him for free, but...
That's right.
Yeah.
That's unreal. So Eric the midget has handlers, and he goes with his wheelchair and his club foot, and then Shuli follows along, and is that's actually a pretty good gig for Shuli.
Yeah. Free vacation.
I'd have taken the day off to do that, to be honest.
It's got to be pretty warm in New Mexico, too, right?
Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Let's go to John of Austin. Yes, John, anything to add to our first science question about ejaculating in weightless space?
Yeah, I was going to dispute your answer there. It's basic physics. Every force has an equal and opposite reaction, and everything stays in motion without the lack of gravity. There'd be nothing to stop that sperm from coming out and keep going until it hits something.
Well, no, when the urine or whatever leaves the body, it doesn't go anywhere because it just kind of stays in that area is what I'm saying. It wouldn't shoot out.
Are we talking about in a spacecraft?
Yes, weightless.
Or
weightless.
Outside in space.
Outside, but we're talking weightlessness.
But if outside in space, it will just evaporate and boil off.
The muscles from your member there that make it shoot out would keep going because there's no gravity, and there'd be nothing to bring it back down to the rug or the carpet or whatever you're dealing with in your house on Earth. It would just keep going until something stopped it because there's no gravity to bring it back down.
The guy that I was talking to on the phone sounded like a man who did not have the same strength muscles that you do. So I was literally listening to him. You sound like a big, giant porno shot would come flying out of you into weightless gravity. All right?
Are you a roper?
Okay.
Yeah, a roper?
Yeah, he shoots out ropes.
I don't think so.
Arcing ropes?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
See, I don't even know. I dialed the phone, and I even told Christine, I was like, I don't even know why I'm calling in. But I did take physics in college, and I do believe that it's like when you push something slowly across the space capsule there, it just keeps going. So
Correct.
If you shot a shot, I think it would keep going.
I think when they tried to spray stuff, I saw them try to spray something, and it didn't come out. It kind of stayed. And now the spray had enough movement inside of it. There's an atmosphere inside of the sprayer, I guess. And when they sprayed it, it didn't go anywhere. It just flattened out like a star, like a starfish or something. It just had a flatness to it. That's what I was thinking. So that the cum mechanism, the ejaculation mechanism, wouldn't be strong enough to blast it out of there. That's all I was thinking. Because you can't pee I don't think can you pee in outer space in weightlessness?
Yeah.
I thought it had to. But you had to get it sucked out by a machine.
No, it gets sucked out after you expel it because, like this guy's saying, if you just
go all over the place.
Yeah, if you peed, it would just go all over the place wherever you aim.
Could you screw in outer space?
Yes, people have before.
No, they haven't.
Yes.
Who?
Astronauts.
No, they have not.
Someone had to test it out.
No, there are cameras everywhere.
Yeah,
maybe the drunken Russians in that space capsule did it.
No, but as a
God-fearing American.
A science experiment.
Our luck, we'd have someone like Christina up there with us, okay?
What's that supposed to mean, your luck? You're absolutely right, your luck.
You mean Dr. Buzzkill? Hey, Garrett.
Buzzkill?
Garrett and Jay are the commanders of the spacecraft. Well, what's the woman go? Oh, Dr. Buzzkill is going with you.
What would make you think that you'd be the commander?
Ooh. Because I'm the commander. That's why.
You're the commander of this show, not our spaceship.
I'm the commander. I'm the commander. No, for science, you wouldn't let somebody test out if you could get laid in outer space just for science. Here's what we would do. We'd put headphones on you and a blindfold. And you would just look out of the porthole.
That would be my job?
That would be.
It's kind of like what I do here.
Garrett would hold a clipboard. I would undo that little flap back there, and then that would be the end of that. And it would just be for science. Hit the science thing again, would you, Garrett? Science. Okay, thanks a lot. In a few minutes, we're going to have Reverend David Kennedy on. He owns a building, and inside the building is a store called the Redneck Shop that sells anti-gay. It's totally anti-everything. Anti-black.
Yeah, it's a KKK shop.
But the Reverend's black and owns the building that the store is in.
He does now.
Why doesn't he just evict the guy down there, the redneck guy?
It's part of the contract.
Can't evict him.
Till he's dead.
You're kidding. So the evil KKK guy is going to stay in the black-owned building till he's dead.
Yes. It's a twisted tale of...
It sells Klan and Confederate knickknacks. There are these women that would do my makeup and stuff at a TV show, and they would find that I was going down south. And they would say to me, hey, if I gave you the money, would you bring me back a black mammy doll?
Yeah.
And I would go, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. And they would go, why not? They're collectibles. I go, maybe, but not in my group. We don't hunt out the black mammy dolls. They are this huge collectible.
Mm-hmm.
The porcelain, black-face, black mammy dolls. I wouldn't have one of those in my home. Imagine a black person comes over to your house. You got a bunch of black mammy dolls around the house. How about Michelle Obama seeing a black mammy doll in your kitchen? You imagine? She would start sounding like Jeff Furlot when he does her. She would come right out of that Harvard education in about 2 seconds. So we're going to have the poor black reverend on, and I guess he's going to court. And then we're going to have the guy that I guess he owns. Does he own Vivid, or is he a porn star?
No, he owns it, or head of it or something.
He looks like a former porn star. They're going to make him wear condoms in Los Angeles, and I guess it means they'll move everything away from L.A. County.
Yeah.
L.A. County. So all the other areas will be making, part of the multi-billion dollars. So that's what we have coming up. Plus, we'll continue talking to you. Ira the Weatherman will be here later. And, of course, all of this in one little package is the Jay Thomas Show. This is getting me mad now.
Don't make that face. You're such a...
I didn't make a face.
Yeah, you did.
You're always in a bad mood.
I'm not in a bad mood.
If you want some tenderness, on this show it's a crime.
You're a little bit of a nut.
We just don't have no love to give.
You're like this toxic energy around me.
But if you want some truthfulness, it's all theater of the mind.
It's not toxic
energy.
It
hurts so much, but we don't give a shit.
That's how it works.
Honesty.
It's called honesty.
It's such a dirty word.
They're useless.
The truth can make you black and blue.
Garrett, it's honest.
Honesty. It smells just like a turd. Mostly we're just here to hurt you.
The upper 1% will always be upper 1%, and the rest of the 99% will be the loser schmucks like us. ... Jay Thomas. In Dallas, Texas, Jay is calling us. Yes, Jay, go ahead.
Hey, Jay, big fan. I'm actually a huge fan. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Hey, I noticed one thing, that you don't do any live commercials anymore. What happened?
We only do those when it's usually a holiday, Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
or,
they're coming soon.
Or Christmas time. You mean you miss the live commercials? That's odd.
No, I don't. I just...
at Christmas time...
I just thought it was funny that you were doing it in the sense of like, hey, that's pretty cool.
I'm one of these. You know what? I have no power. I mean, there was a time, maybe some other. You don't have any power unless somehow you have power, unless you can prove how many people listen or whatever. So we're pretty much powerless here. So they hand you something to read, and you just read it. Years ago, I would certainly have gotten paid for reading a live commercial on the radio.
And you didn't this time?
No.
Oh, yeah, you used to get paid extra for live reading?
Of course. Sure. You're the number one guy in New York or L.A. or wherever I worked. They'd want you to read a live commercial. Sure, it'd be extra money.
Oh, I thought that would be part of your contract. Like,
no.
Oh, huh.
I thought so, too.
No. Because... You're not endorsing it, but you are giving it your special treatment.
Yes.
That's different than and they wouldn't want you to record. They don't want you to record it live and then rerun it so that it sounds live. It had to be live.
All right.
And they'd pay you extra money for that.
Yeah. What I wanted to say about Teal in Heidi Klum, it said, Teal, it's an ironic name. When is the last time you saw a black guy or a black person swimming,
All right, Jay, that's it. We don't need that. We don't need. We don't. You know what I like? It's a Hispanic guy who's a racist. Okay, you don't see that very often either. You know what? When's the last time you saw a Mexican swimming when an INS agent wasn't shooting at him? How about that one?
Well, I'm not Mexican. I'm from Patterson, New Jersey, actually. But I live in Dallas, though.
You're not from Patterson, New Jersey.
I am, yeah.
Where do you get that accent from?
So you're an Arab.
What do you mean Arab? Like, no, I'm Hispanic.
That's what I'm saying. You're a Puerto Rican.
Well, yeah, half Puerto Rican.
I said this once, and I'll say it again. Everybody who speaks Spanish, no matter where you're from, you're Mexican. That's how it works.
But it's true. When is the last time you saw someone black swimming? Tell me.
When's the last time you saw a Mexican swim when IRS isn't shooting at him? Get rid of him, Garrett. He said it twice.
When's the last time you've seen a Mexican play basketball?
Every day in Astoria Park.
Let's go to Jim of Atlanta. Jim, there is such a crazy story out of Atlanta. There is a thing called the Atlanta Jewish Times. A man named Andrew Adler. Is this headlines in Atlanta today?
Yeah, he wrote that article about assassination.
Garrett, the guy in an article in the Atlanta Jewish Times called for the assassination of Barack Obama. Come on. I swear to God. Do we have to go to a break right now?
No, we can just go. I'll play the music.
Adler, who of course apologized for the article, listed 3 options for Israel to counter Iran's nuclear weapons in a newspaper article on Friday. A preemptive strike, attack Iran's facilities, and give the go-ahead for U.S.-based agents to take out a president deemed unfriendly to Israel in order to get the vice president to take his place, who is more friendly with Israel. She's calling for the assassination of the president. Now I got to ask you a question, Jim. I guess the 2 Jews that live in Atlanta were probably upset by this. I mean,
There's
Not
a
a
lot
hot.
down here.
There's a lot of Jews in Atlanta. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know. I was stunned to hear that. Well, all right. Well, that's crazy. I think it's against the law to call for the assassination of the president.
Fired?
He quit. It's a guy. He just quit.
Well, I'm calling about Obama.
What is it?
Okay, I want to offer my gavel to gavel coverage tomorrow in Atlanta because everyone knows Obama's birth certificate is fake. So to get his name back on the ballot in Georgia, he has to prove.
What an idiot. You're one of these idiots.
No, I'm telling you, he has to show up. Look it up on Google. Obama has to show up in court tomorrow.
His birth certificate from Hawaii has been printed on the internet for the last year and a half. You're an idiot.
I'm not here to debate if it's true or not.
Hold on a minute. So he will just show his Hawaii birth certificate. Go online. It's in
person.
All right, so he won't be on the ballot, and they'll elect you. What an idiot! I wouldn't let you shove a gavel up Garrett's ass, which he likes.
I'm not here to debate.
Begin first, please.
You know what? What you are, Jim, is you're one of these.
And
you're
then
just
pull really hard.
You're just an asshole. You're probably an asshole to your friends. Your family thinks you're an asshole, and now add Jay Thomas to the list of people that thinks Jim of Atlanta is a meaningless asshole. All right? I'll see you later.
I love you.
What an idiot. I love you. What an asshole. God forbid.
It's a weird day today.
It is. I'm ready to go to New Mexico.
Let's put a best of on.
Where's Shuli?
New Mexico. Well, on the heels of Newt Gingrich just, killing in the South Carolina primary, thought it'd be interesting to really kind of look at that state. Look who we're talking about. Let's welcome the Reverend David Kennedy to the Jay Thomas Show. Reverend Kennedy, how are you today?
I'm fine, sir. And you?
I'm good.
Really?
The crazy story that you own this building where I guess you have your Sunday meetings and stuff and your prayer meetings and all?
No, we don't have prayer meetings in it right now.
Oh, okay. But you own the building. Is that correct?
Right. We went to court on September the 9th, and December the 9th, the judge made a ruling that the building belonged to us.
Okay. And in the building, this guy owns the Redneck Shop, which sells Confederate bikinis, Ku Klux Klan hoods, polyester swastika flags, and now he's in this building at the Redneck Shop. Why can't you evict him?
Well, when he sold it to Michael Burton Jr., he kept what they call a life interest in the estate, which means that as long as he was living, he had a right to do what he wanted to in the building. But at his death, the remainder part of the building would belong to Michael Burton Jr., and we purchased it from Michael Burton Jr. for $1,000 after we helped him. We fed him after John Howard kicked him out, and he sold it to us.
So now you own the building, but you got to wait for this guy to die before you can close the Redneck Shop.
Right, and the other option could be if he doesn't pay us as the judge has demanded, we probably could put him in foreclosure for his life interest in the estate.
Now, was this guy a member of the KKK, or does he just sell the stuff?
John Howard bragged in 2006 that he had been a member of the Ku Klux Klan for 40 years. Mm-hmm. And the younger guy, Michael Burton Jr., had been with the Klan for several years.
Why don't you? I would move away from that town if I were you. I'd get out of there. I wouldn't live there. I'd move. I'd go anywhere, any place. You ever think about? And even the town, Lawrence, South Carolina, isn't it named for a slave? Slave
Henry Lawrence, 18th century slave trader.
My God, Reverend David Kennedy, you and every black person in that area, you should just get out of there. Burn down the redneck shop and leave in the middle of the night.
We'll leave a lot of people behind. People here, they're a unique group of people. They are filled with fear, and they have a history of not standing up. Never participated with Dr. King during the 60s, the 50s or the 60s. The movement bypassed this whole area.
It's amazing for us. I live in California, but I'm from Louisiana, and I'm sure Garrett and Christina that are, in their 30s and they live in New York, it seems impossible that there is this kind of racism. Now, we can make jokes about the guy having the redneck shop, but has anybody done anything to your church or your house or anything, Reverend Kennedy, since this all started up?
We have been threatened on numerous occasions, and as a matter of fact, I was just looking over a statement that Michael Burton gave to our state police. We call SLED, the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, where it asked Michael Burton Jr. on question number 5, did John Howard ask you to cause the death of Reverend Kennedy? Answer, yes.
Wow. He answered yes?
Right. When you were living with John Howard, did he ask you to cause the death of Reverend David Kennedy? Yes. Did John Howard, that was question number 7. I'm skipping over some.
Yeah.
Question number 10. Did John Howard give you guns and ammunition with which to shoot Reverend David Kennedy? Yes.
So this guy that runs the redneck shop wants to shoot you?
Yes.
Wow. Now, can you evict him? You ought to be able to evict somebody that wants to shoot you, shouldn't you?
Well, according to the law of South Carolina, the land that if a person owns a life interest, he or she has the right to stay in there until their death. And so we are in Lawrence, and this is the home of the redneck shop. Mm-hmm. And they even the ones who do not claim to be with the Klan, they'll do everything in their power to respect the Klan's order. Even our mayor made a statement, according to the New York Times, that they never harm anybody.
That's crazy.
Right.
Crazy.
I think so.
So now, Reverend, you got the redneck shop. How many people go in there and shop? I mean, is it a lot of money the guy makes on Nazi flags and hoods and a Confederate bikini's kind of funny, but does it have what's the most offensive thing in there besides? Well, there's the hood and the Nazi flag. That's offensive. But what other stuff would he sell?
Well, when Sam Donaldson sent a crew in 1997, they went undercover, and they saw shirts that with a little white boy urinating on a little black boy that said, "Ain't a racist, but never met a nigger I liked."
That's on the T-shirt.
That was on the T-shirt, and it was on Primetime Live.
I have to tell you, Garrett and Christina, it's probably hard to believe this is happening in 2012, isn't it?
Right. It's happening. They had little wooden doors with ropes around their necks, saying this is the way you handle a nigger.
Yeah, I always thought that nowadays it was more covert. Like people were still this racist, but they didn't express it to people they didn't know. But I guess that's not true.
That's probably true in, New York, California. Listen, obviously there are people that discriminate without ever saying they discriminate or whatever. Mm-hmm. But this stuff, so he's got nooses around little, bobbleheads. He's got T-shirts. Are those for sale now?
Yes.
Now, is that against the law to have a noose around someone's neck? Can you not sue this guy on some sort of civil rights legislation that was passed?
Well, the city of Lawrence has consular order. It's amazing how they operate. If it's somebody, if I was doing that as a black person, they would shut me down. But John Howard has one vantage point in this racist city. He's white, and he can get away with any kind of ordinance. And the only reason he doesn't is because we have to protest and force the city just to honor some of their city ordinances.
And so you've lived there your whole life?
I was born here, and I was born in the projects. And I was born, the white people lived in one section, the black people that they called colored at that time. I was born under C stood for color, C51 Spring Street, August 1st, 1953. And we could not integrate in any form or fashion. So I grew up in that era. When you went to the doctor's office, you had to go to the colored side. And when you had to go to the hospital, they put us in the basement, and they called it the colored wing. And we were not allowed to walk on the sidewalk. But I also come from a history of a lynching, and the lynching of my great-great-uncle, Richard Puckett, on August 11, 1913, here in Lawrence. And he was falsely accused of wanting, not raping. They called him the would-be rapist.
You mean he just looked at a white girl, and someone said, "Oh, he looked at her," so they hung him.
Right, and my grandparents tell the story that he was taking a note from a white man to the white man's girlfriend, and when he got caught with the note, he couldn't even read and write. What the lady said, the nigger has been trying to go with me a long time. And so they chased him down, and they went over my grandfather's house, James Malachi Puckett, and he refused to give him over to the mob, but he told them he'll turn him over to the sheriff. So he turned him over to the sheriff, and the sheriff incarcerated him, but allowed the mob to come in and took him out, and they lynched him under a trestle, and that trestle was a road the black people had to go into town, and they kept their rope up there, and we saw it well over into 1980s, and then the word was out if anybody took it down. The same thing happened to Richard Puckett would happen to them. And
how long did the rope stay up there? Years?
It was up there until the railroad company blocked the road off, and covered it, except for the railroad part, they covered the trestle up to where the rope was in the 1980s.
How many years did it stay up there, visible?
Probably since 1913.
So for 70 years, the rope stayed up on the trestle?
Right, to instill fear in the black community. And I think the older people created a myth to keep young black people from taking it down, saying if you take the rope down, the ghost of Richard Puckett will come and hunt you. And they did that, I think, to protect the young people. From
getting in trouble by
right.
the Klan for taking the rope down.
Right.
So here you live in Lawrence, South Carolina. You own this building. There's the redneck guy there. I mean, this sounds, dangerous. At first it sounds a little bit funny that you got this crazy redneck guy down there. But is he sick? Is the guy have long to live?
He's a very deceptive person. When we asked to inspect the building, the city of Lawrence would always deny us that right. And we went in the building, and he would call the police on us, and the police protected him. And I told them we have a vested interest in this building, and we have a right to inspect it. So he said you have to get a judge's statement to verify that you own the building. But it took us a long time to find an attorney, and we found an attorney, a white male by the name of Rock Wise, and he agreed to fight with us to establish that we were the rightful owners of the building.
Wow. Well, we tried to have the old redneck guy on, but we couldn't find him. He didn't want to come on and stuff like that. But I'm going to say it again. You live in a town named for a slave trader.
Right.
You're scared to death. They got the rope hanging on the trestle. I don't understand why you didn't move away.
Well, if I had left, I wanted to leave on several occasions because everywhere I tried to find employment, they would find a way to terminate me. And I had a good legal case, but
and you're a troublemaker also, right?
Right. John Howard told the judge on September the 9th, said, "You don't know Reverend Kennedy. He's a nuisance. He's annoying, and he's crazy. He burned Confederate flags right in front of my building."
You did what? You say he said you burned a flag?
Right. We burned a Confederate flag. Here, some of the young people wanted to burn the building down, and I knew I was their only hope from not going to jail, because in the late 60s, a lot of my friends set Lawrence County on fire because of threats from the Ku Klux Klan, and they would go and be caddies at the golf course here in Lawrence, where black people were denied to play golf, and the white guys would kick them, spit on them, call them niggers. And then they put a threat out that they were going to meet and kill black people. So a lot of young guys put some gas and some glass ballers in the late 60s, and they set Lawrence County on fire everywhere the Ku Klux Klan met.
Wow.
And one white guy drove from Columbia, a Vietnam vet, and drove his van right into the redneck shop.
A black vet or a white vet?
A white vet.
A white Vietnam veteran drove his van into the redneck shop to protest against it.
Right, and he told me, he said, "Reverend Kennedy, it looked like you didn't have any help." And it just appeared to me, it looked like nobody was doing anything. And I had to do something. He said, I was sitting watching TV, and he said I had to do something.
Well, listen, this all started off because it sounded like just a crazy, silly redneck guy with this, like the last of a breed, But now you're saying that in your Lawrence, South Carolina, and in this county, things, haven't changed very much?
We can go into stores, but the spirit hangs over. And in 2006, Morris D's Intelligent Report magazine, one of his reporters reported an international meeting of the ASEAN nations met right in the Echo Theater, where that houses the Ku Klux Klan redneck shop. And what basically happened was people came out of Germany and other parts of the world to hold this meeting. And John Howard, according to the reporter, saw an 8-year-old child riding by on a bicycle and made this statement, "There's a nigger I'd like to hang." And the people applauded for it and agreed that that child should have been lynched.
Wow, this is crazy. Now, why wouldn't you run for mayor of the town and get all the black people in the town to register to vote?
David Kennedy.
The black people.
No, back him up, please. Get rid of him. Why wouldn't you run for mayor?
A lot of the black people here have been programmed. They think it's a sin to protest. They think it's a sin, and it causes too many problems for black people if somebody black stood up.
Wow.
And so, to a very large extent, I become a hated person until they get in trouble or their children get in trouble. They all run to this little church. Even the ministers run to us for help.
Well, look, good luck, and I hope. Now, you'd never pray for the death of the owner of the redneck shop, would you?
Well, we pray.
You do pray. Okay, good.
We pray.
Okay, good. All right, Reverend David Kennedy, if you ever drive through Lawrence, South Carolina, do something, naughty in front of the redneck shop. I don't know what to tell you. And good luck, and I hope you stay safe. You live in a wild. It's like something out of the 1800s or the early 1900s. Good luck, Reverend Kennedy. I'm glad we could give you this moment to talk to us.
God bless you, and thank you so kindly.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, you don't hear stories like that very often. I didn't expect all that, to be honest.
It's like the 60s or 50s or something.
Or something like that. No, I want you to back him up. It is. And when we joke about, and it's true in Louisiana too, and stuff. I mean, it's not true like in the big cities, right? Columbia, South Carolina, or Charlotte, North Carolina, or New Orleans, or, Lexington, Kentucky, But when you get out there in the little burgs, there's no one to protect you. That's the ball game.
Yeah.
I can remember, it sounds like a joke, them pulling up dead black people with chains wrapped around a bag and stuff, and the sheriff reporting it was the worst suicide he'd ever seen. Crazy stuff, and
it's almost funny.
I thought that this guy was going to say, this is the last crazy KKK guy in this little town.
Yeah.
Right?
But no.
Oh, my God. And you were right, Christina. This is an odd day. She said this off the air. The phone callers have been odd. The fact that Shuley just disappeared and it just felt like an odd day. And then this thing here. I don't know what to do. It's hard to believe. And I was raised in the South, and I've certainly seen it all. None of that ever happened in my house. But also, my parents weren't out there picketing against segregation.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you got to figure eventually.
My dad would have never worked. He would have been unhireable. Now, he could have moved away. We could have gone, to Colorado or California or whatever. But had my dad, I guess, joined up something when I was a kid and started working against segregation, he'd lost his job. That's the other thing.
Wow.
They just, get rid of you.
Well, you figure eventually, in the next 10 or 20 years, everyone from that generation will be gone.
Longer than that. Longer than that.
Really?
I mean, you got young people that, and look, I think all of us have bigotry in us. All of us. I believe we all have prejudices against colors or overweight people. And I saw a woman today with full angel wings tattooed on her back at the gym, and not a very attractive woman. And I'm looking at this woman going, oh, my God, right off the bat, now I have no reason for this. I just didn't like her. No reason whatsoever. She might have been just fine. But had I known about her and she came in to apply for a job or whatever, as far as I'm concerned, I don't even know why. Those angel wings are baggage to me. Baggage. So I think we all have, bigotry in us. And if somebody comes in and doesn't speak, the proper English and all, I'm probably as discriminatory as anyone. But I'm not in a position to discriminate, so I welcome everyone. I seem very welcoming, don't I, Garrett?
Very.
I'm not. Oh. If I had a big company, I don't know what I would do. Well, what I would do is this. I would parade everyone I hired that was either crippled or of another race. I'd parade them around all the time and go, look what I did. I would just use it to elevate my own good standing. Now, Ira, have you ever been discriminated against as a Jewish person?
Never, Gene.
You think
Never.
You would have noticed it if you were discriminated?
I would have noticed it.
Like if someone had said...
There's a lot of hate crimes out there.
If someone was going to beat you up...
Bombing synagogues and everything.
If someone was going to beat you up, and they said, okay, I'm going to beat you, are you a Jew? Would you say I'm not a Jew?
I wouldn't say anything to them.
No, they were going to beat you because you were Jewish. Would you deny you were Jewish so you wouldn't get beat?
I wouldn't deny it.
You wouldn't. You would say, I'm a Jew and take a beating.
I'm a Jew.
You would take a beating?
I'm happy to be a Jew.
And then when they hit you in the head with something and they said, stop saying you a Jew, what would you do then?
I wouldn't even stand for it.
Well, you could be lying on the ground, that's why.
Maybe yes, maybe no.
I think, Garrett, I would probably go, hey, Mormon all the way, you know? Presbyterian, whatever you like. But, yeah, we did this as like kind of a funny thing. And we went into some town just now that was so weird. You talk about a throwback. How about the rope hanging on the trestle, the hangman's rope since 1913? God. Let's go to Kevin of Pennsylvania. Yes, Kevin, it's Jay Thomas.
Jay, do you actually believe that story that he's a preacher and all that's going on when nowadays all they got to do is yell Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson? They'd be down there protesting that little shop. Do you believe all that?
Well, yes, I do, because if you go online and you pull up the story of that town, you will find all of this stuff. I just think it's not a big enough place for Jesse Jackson or for Al Sharpton to do anything. And I think this reverend wouldn't call him in there because it would cause more trouble than it was worth. Why, you think Lawrence, South Carolina, named for a slave trader, is like a cool place after that, or he's lying? I believe him.
I just never heard of such a thing going on nowadays.
Well, I think it does, and I think that it goes on in the smaller towns. There's no doubt about that. But he quoted the New York Times. He said that the reporter heard the guy say to hang the little black girl. I mean, you know, it's all verifiable. That's the sad thing. Now the little store looks silly. It really does. But to have the T-shirts with the white kid, you know, pissing on the black kid and all of that, that's pretty horrifying shit.
It's unbelievable to me nowadays that would go on. Oh, anyway, I didn't want to change the subject, but by Shul League being down there in New Mexico, I listen to the Stern Show a lot, just like your show, and Eric, the actor, put in a clause that they have to keep him safe from werewolves because New Mexico, there's werewolves down there.
The fact that they hire him on these shows, and I'm sure that there are a lot of people that, you know, millions of people listen to Howard. Do you think it really affects the ratings for the show when Eric the Midget is on a television show?
Oh, not at all, not at all. But, you know, he's making $4,000 a day for a couple hours of work for 2 days. You believe that?
I don't believe $4,000 a day. I might believe $4,000 for the week, but I don't believe $4,000 a day. But if that's what they say they made him, did Don Buchwald make that deal? Then I believe it.
Actually, Johnny Fratto made him that deal.
So I don't understand. It's just the producer that likes him, and he puts him in the show as a goof. The other actors, you know, take themselves very seriously, obviously. So there you are in a serious show, and this angry midget comes in a wheelchair who is not going to cause any big tune-in. That's got to really piss him off.
I think he just did it as a favor to Howard, giving the guy some work. That's all I think it was.
Howard's worried about Eric the Midget getting work.
There's got to be something, because he kisses his ass the way he talks to him all the time. I would never deal with that midget.
I wonder why Howard hasn't put his focus on me, Garrett. You know what? When I come back in February, I need an appearance on the Howard Stern Show. Okay?
All right.
I'm willing to get a club foot and be in a wheelchair to get that kind of attention.
Jay, I wish you would be on all the time, every day on his stations after he goes off.
Well, I'm going to have to deal with this.
We're on this station every day. What's the difference?
I need to deal with this.
Yeah, but I know, but I mean, it'd be better if you were on the other channel. I wouldn't have to change it. It's a lot of work changing channels.
You mean you'd actually have to move your thumb and your index finger? I got you. I'm with you.
That's right. That's a lot of work for a truck driver, you know what I mean?
Kevin, I couldn't agree more. And also, those pesky preset buttons are always difficult to deal with.
Yes, they are, especially when you're moving.
Thank you, Kevin of Pennsylvania. Let's go to Ray of Stamford, Connecticut. That was kind of a sad little bit there. I call this reverend to kind of make fun of this redneck shop, and man, this is I got hit right in the face with it.
Know what I noticed too? You completely understood him. Every word he said, I really had to struggle because his accent. But you're in the zone with it.
Well, look. It's hard for people to believe it. I was raised in that era, and my mother was from Patterson, Louisiana, which is a very small town. It's still small. And then there's Morgan City, and we have another thing that you add to it. We've got the French people, the Cajuns, and they have all kinds of blood in them. They have black, they have French, they have, water moccasin. Who knows what they've got in them? They got raccoon blood in them, everything. And when I was a kid, they would speak some language that sounded like French, but it was a mixture of French or Spanish or stupidity or whatever. And yes, we could understand them. That's right. But this man was speaking the southern dialect of the black person. Now, here's another stupid thing. It was against the law to teach a slave how to read or write. That lasted.
A lot of people don't know that.
That lasted for 300 years. And so when people go, gee, I wonder why, the education system. Imagine, it was against the law. So you set that up for a couple hundred years. Now, what was the reason for that, Christina? Why did they not want to teach the slave kids how to read or write?
Because they didn't want them to be smarter than they were.
Or to learn things that were happening in the world.
Yeah.
And also,
themselves.
Same thing with women. In the Middle Eastern countries, they don't want the little girls going to school, and that's a big thing. They will kill people that teach the girls, because if they start reading and writing and figuring this shit out, there's going to be trouble. So, yeah, that was a real eye opener. Now, Ray, you're in Stamford, Connecticut. That's a hotbed of discrimination, isn't it? Just driving by the WWE building makes me shudder.
It's when the traffic gives up right past that building.
Oh, it's crazy. Because I lived right next door. I lived in Greenwich for a long time. And we would go over to... This is a true story. I had 4 acres. I had a big, ridiculous house. And the house was on the 2 acres in Greenwich. And we had a tennis court. I didn't build it, but it was unbelievable, like a stadium. But it was built over on the Stamford side. When we went to sell the house, now this is a gorgeous neighborhood with fabulous homes. People would come see our house, and because 2 of the acres were in Stamford, Connecticut, they wouldn't buy the house. So there was this wealthy discrimination of Stamford, even though the downtown of Stamford was 20 miles away or whatever. I mean, it was a forest. But these 2 acres were legally in Stamford, and people would find that out, and they would pack their kids up and leave. So that, that rich people discrimination. Ray, go ahead.
Al, you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was just, I'm a driver, and I've been through Lawrence, South Carolina. That guy, he wasn't lying about it, because I'm a black man, and I've been down there, and it's some surreal shit, man. And the problem is a lot of, like that asshole he's called in before, talking about he can't believe that this kind of thing goes on. He's the same guy who believes cops don't whoop ass. And that's the problem with America. A lot of Americans don't realize that this shit goes on far more than they know in all of these little towns throughout Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee. I'm driving through Tennessee right now. And I've been through places in here where I've seen more Confederate flags than I've seen Americans. And it's just some weird shit. And a lot of people just need to wake up. And I feel sorry for the Reverend and the people down there, because they are pretty odd. And like they're scared, and they have been conditioned to believe, that they better not say anything, just shut the fuck up and go along with the plan. And
well, yeah. That, I'll tell you a crazy story. We went to Carmel, California, which is on the coast and beautiful. And I used to jog, right? So I leave the hotel and I start this big, 3 or 4 mile run, and I kind of run back off the highway, and I see this house, kind of ramshackle, but it's really close to the beach. I'm sure the property is worth a lot. And there is a Confederate flag flying over the garage of this house just outside of all this nice neighborhood. And so when I got back to the highway and was getting something to drink, I said, "Hey, what's the deal with that Confederate flag?" And the guy says, "Man, don't ever run past that house. Don't ever go there. That guy, and that the Confederate flag means I'll shoot you. That's what it says to me. No matter where you see it, it means I will fucking shoot you, and I hate black people. That's what it says. Right. Except when Ole Miss is taking the field, Garrett. Then it means go Rebels. That's all it means."
Is that really true, though? Like, if someone has one in front of their house?
Will not. I wouldn't fuck with that guy. Someone with a Confederate flag on the back of their car, on their Dukes of Hazzard car, down someplace. I'm not
like a little secret nod between all the races.
And forget being black. You're from New York. Oh my God! They just soon fucking kill you as look at you.
Oh, I went down to Mississippi about 12 years ago for a radio bit. And we were with one black guy, and we would go out to restaurants and just sit down, and everyone would stare at us. Because we're from New York, and it's a black guy with us, and we were not welcome.
Well, now that doesn't happen so much anymore. You can go.
Does. Yes, it does.
Yeah,
it does.
This was like 10 years ago, and it happened then.
What did you think of Garrett when he said he was surprised I could understand the Reverend, Ray?
Garrett is a dork.
He was. That was. I'll tell you. What's sad is,
and I like Garrett though.
I do too. What's funny is that I sometimes think if we were on terrestrial radio, what would have gotten us fired today? Every day, somebody says something that would have had our asses dragged into the general manager's office.
Well, the Reverend said the N-word 75 times.
Well, he's allowed to do that.
Yeah.
He was giving an example of the racist things that were inside of the place. So
yeah. And
all right.
And
Ray,
hey,
are you?
Ray.
Yo, hold it. Ira wants to say something. Go ahead, Ira.
I got a friend. He lives in Connecticut. He lives in Stamford, Connecticut.
What's his name, Ira?
Ray Pender.
Do you know Ray Pender?
Yeah, I do.
The music blender?
That's unbelievable. What are the odds of that? All right.
I smoke weed with him.
No, he doesn't smoke weed.
Oh, all right. I hate to break it to you.
Hey, Jay.
What?
I'm a long time listener, first time caller. Man, I fucking love your show. You the shit. Be easy, man.
Thank you very much. Let's go to the whitest place. If this is California, let's go to the whitest place in America, Orange County. Jeff, are you in Orange County, California, or New York?
Yeah, hi, Jay. I'm Orange County, New York.
Okay, but you know Orange County, California. That's the whitest. They may not have the Confederate flag flying and shit, but they have no interest in anybody that is anything less than 98% Episcopalian. That's how they do it.
Yeah, that's all right.
You go in there as a Jew, a Catholic, a black person, a Hispanic, an Arab, an Indian, or whatever, and you forget it. That's the white. That's where Ronald Reagan's adopted son, who he couldn't fucking stand, that Ron Reagan Jr., who the family didn't even invite to the fucking funeral, has his little fucking radio show. Yes, Jeff of Orange County, you come from where the motorcycle guys are.
That's right. Same town, same area.
Do you ever go into that shop? Have you ever been in there just to look at those people?
No, I've never been. I've been by it. I go by it sometimes every day. But no, I'm not really into motorcycles. I've watched the show a few times, but...
But then the Sun opened up across the street, and it's difficult on TV to figure out whether... And we had the dad on a couple of times, and he said he was really mad at the Sun. And now, is that still going on, that show, Garrett, with the feud between the two of them? Lawsuits?
I'm not sure, but it was... last year that it was the feud and everything. So
well, I know there's a big lawsuit, but I couldn't tell whether that was done by the network or they really meant it. I mean, it's hard for me to believe.
I mean, it went on for like 6 seasons. I think they really meant it. I'm going to guess.
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, they
yes,
opened totally different shops across the.
Oh, he sued him for copyright infringement and all that stuff. Yes, Jeff, go ahead. Jeff of Orange County, New York. Yes, sir.
Yeah, hi. Well, I just wanted to let you know, I think Bubba the Love Sponge and Ned did some crank calls to that redneck shop, and it was pretty funny. I mean, Ned really had the guy going, and it took him a while to get the guy to open up and talk about what they do there. And it was maybe Garrett can look it up, and you can listen to it sometime, but it was pretty good.
You know, the problem with crank calls is the law is that you have to tell them that they're being taped or that you tape them, and then they have to give you the okay to run it, right, Garrett?
Correct.
So I thought about calling that shop, but every time we make a call, we have to warn them, and it kind of ruins it, you know.
Yeah, I don't know how he did it, but I know.
Well, the guy must have said okay at the end of the call. He must have said
maybe, or something. I don't know what how it went down at the end, but I know it was the place, and I know they called it a few different times about different topics that Ned had going on there. About some movies, I think it was one time, and some, I don't know what else, but they got into it pretty good.
You know, it is fun. It is unusual that when you hear a Southerner's voice, it's easy to do the redneck thing and to say, you can imagine, the nigger and all the thing. But when I hear a guy with one of these New York voices like that, and you envision racism in other parts of the United States or even Canada, and they have a voice like that, any of these blacks coming to my area, I'm going to kill them, okay? These goddamn blacks. That's what I mean. When you hear a person outside of the South, that's one of the most shocking things to me. Because when we were in the South as a kid, we thought we were the only people that were accused of discrimination or had any of this. And I remember when they had those riots in South Boston. Remember that? The kids were integrating some schools or whatever, and it was unbelievable. They were burning, South Boston down and all because of the integration of the schools. And everybody from Louisiana, they were giving speeches. You see there, these Northerners. These Northerners are bigger. They're bigger than we. Oh, man. It was and then you'd see the people on TV going, we don't want those blacks in our schools. It was unbelievable to us. That's how closed a society it was, Garrett. That's the crazy thing.
Wow.
And then to find out that Jewish people had millions of dollars tied up in the cotton industry during the Civil War and helped finance the Confederate Army. It's unbelievable, but it's true. There's a book out there called The Jews of the Confederacy. Well, you got the cotton, you got the mill, they're making all the cloth and everything, and shit. Oh yeah, crazy. So, all right, stay where you are. We'll keep talking to you, and then would you watch a porno, Christina? Do you and your boyfriend, watch a porno every now and again?
We don't watch porno together, no.
Do you watch it alone?
No, I've watched it here at work. It's not something that's not.
You talk about against the law. Who would show you a porno?
What do you mean? I worked on Alpha.
What horrible person would ever?
Ira, that's against the law.
His name is Garrett Andritz, and he sits across from me.
You know what?
Yeah, I watch more porn at work than I do at home.
Unless it's being used for educational purposes, Garrett, it's not allowed to be used.
It's educational.
I've never even.
I want you to send me. I want you to send me everything you've shown Christina, and I'm going to make the final determination whether it's educational or not. Yes, Ira.
Jay, I went into a porn shop.
And what happened?
Then I saw some pictures and everything.
You mean a pawn shop or a porn shop?
Porn shop.
You go in and they have dirty movies and they have
movies. That
and
is
pictures.
Right.
What did the pictures show?
Naked women.
I couldn't hear that. What was it?
Naked women.
Ira, speak into the microphone. What did you say?
Naked women.
My God. And what were they doing?
They were naked.
They were just naked.
Yes.
All right. And did you buy any of the pictures?
No, I did not. I was watching it on the TV.
You just...
The Jews at the porn shop.
He went in. He went in for a free hard-on to the porn shop.
That is right.
That's exactly what he did. He wanted to get a free tickle down below. Stay where you are. I know.
Jay Thomas teaches Ira the national anthem, or at least tries to.
Are you ready to read?
Yes.
Wonderful. Oh, say, can you see?
To be or not to be?
No. Oh, say, can you see?
To be or not to be, that is the question.
I know, but what? No, but I know the words. Oh, say, can you see?
To be or not to be?
Now, let me stop you here. Put the paper down. Oh, say, can you see?
To be or not to be?
By the dawn's early light.
That is the question.
At the twilight's last gleaming.
Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of an outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of trouble, and by opposing end them to die to sleep, and by a sleep save the end, a heartache, and 1,000 natural shocks. The flesh is hair, to sleep perchance, to dream by theirs the rug.
I have no idea what you just said, but I couldn't agree more.
Tell me about it.
Thank you very much.
The Jay Thomas Show.
Now, Red Solo Cup is the best receptacle for barbecues, tailgates, fairs, and festivals. And you, sir, do not have a pair of vegetables if you prefer drinking from glass. A Red Solo Cup is cheap and disposable. In 14 years, they are decomposable. And unlike my home, they are not foreclosable. Freddie Mac can kiss my ass. Woo! Red Solo Cup. I fill you up.
What is this?
Have a party.
What is this, Garrett?
This is Toby Keith's Red Solo Cup.
Does he refer to beer pong in this at all, or no?
I'm sure. Oh, it's like...
That's what I think of when I think of a Red Solo Cup.
So it's about having the booze in the Red Solo Cup.
The whole song is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I really hate how you're easy to crack.
All right.
Beer runs down.
So it's a
well, that, my friends, is quite
a homage to the red plastic cup that you put
beer in. Yeah, a whole
beer
song
in.
written about it.
Okay, thanks, Garrett, very much. Don't need it. Let's go to Jason in Philadelphia. 888-410-102-102. Yes, Jason. Jay Thomas here.
Jay Thomas, that is 10 minutes that I won back. That was 10 minutes of the worst radio, possibly. What happened to Art Sears in the days of...
No, wait a second.
A preview interview or anything like that?
Wait. No, there's no previews here. We put the guy on. Look, you mean to tell me that the joke was there was a redneck store and the black man owns the building. So I didn't know what I was going to get. That's why I don't do the preview. And so the guy comes on, and now, but wait a second, and now it becomes this kind of unusual, hard to believe, a throwback to 100 years or more, and you found that boring.
That was boring and awkward. I was feeling many things.
That's good. That's good. Not boredom, but feeling awkward, I like. And what about when he had the T-shirts of the little white boy pissing on the black boy and the word nigger on the fronts of the shirts, and you can go into that store today or go online and buy all those shirts. That wasn't like a shock to you?
No, I've been in the South, Jay. I love being north of the Mason-Dixon line. I've been in the South. I'm half black and I'm half white, so the racism is palpable down there. It's like aged like a fine wine.
So you were just listening and going, oh, that's a normal day down south.
That's why I live in Philly. I don't live in South Carolina.
Well, there are a lot of other people that aren't as smart as Jason, Mr. fucking half-breed from Philadelphia, okay?
Well, what did Art Sears used to do, if you had done a preview interview with this guy, you would...
I have never done Hold on. I have never done pre-interviews in my entire career, and I'll tell you why. Because we can get enough information on the internet these days. But the other thing is, I want it to be as much a surprise to me as it is to you folks.
Well,
now,
you had no idea how boring that guy would be, and how
I did not find it boring. I found it shocking that one, it wasn't funny. That's true, but I found it shocking that this nonsense. How about the rope over the?
I had the Oprah channel on. I didn't know what was going on.
Well, you know what? Maybe I'm trying to get another class of listener. How's that sound? I'm sick of the low rent, sex-fueled jokes. How about that? I'm trying to climb out of the cesspool, okay, of uncensored Sirius satellite radio sometimes, and just maybe bring myself into the light. That's all.
You're going highbrow on us. Is that what?
Let me ask you a question. Every time I read in the paper that Rush Limbaugh makes $50 million a year, or Hannity, and then you got Glenn Beck, and all these guys do is talk politics, and then in every market that has the number one announcers are all these boring political guys, and then when I talk politics, or when we even delve in it, or something like this comes up, people call up and go, "Oh, that was the most fucking boring." I feel the same way when I'm listening to it for 4 straight hours. I don't get why that kind of radio is so popular. I don't.
Well, that's why we're not listening to that kind of radio. We want to hear more stories of you pretending to jizz by spitting on people and shit like that.
Well, that is one of my best ones. It also has to. It also has to be. It also has to be from the behind, and you have to yell, "Oh, here comes the mother load, bitch!" or no, what, you do it like this? You ready? Here comes the mother load. Here comes the mother load.
So if you were in space and tried that, the spit would stay in your mouth and you would sound like Garrett?
No, this is what I would do. I would get the tube that you normally eat out of, because they have to squeeze the food out of a tube, and I would squeeze that on their back. Here it comes. Here we go. All right. We need to take another break. Thank you, man. Another break or keep going? All right, there we go. Let's go to James of Canada. Yes, James, it's Jay Thomas. By the way, when I worked, I did a couple of movies in Canada, TV shows, they would always say that Canada is the most racially diverse and accepting nation in the world. Is that true of Canada?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I'm being serious.
There's only white people up there.
No,
I'm being serious. Absolutely. There's a lot of diversity here. The stuff that you guys are talking about on the radio right now, that you never see that happen in Canada. It just doesn't. It's not like that.
So if you were a black person in that horrifying city of Lawrence, South Carolina, you would hitch up your car and you'd become a Canadian citizen.
Yeah, if you wanted to raise your stakes in this world, yeah.
I would. I'm not joking. I would.
There you go.
Or if I was a black person, I would move to a country where everybody looks like me also. I want to be... I don't want any nonsense on a daily basis.
Well, what if you can't speak French? Don't they hate anyone, at least in...
That's only in Montreal.
Well, that's pretty racist.
No, don't worry. The rest of Canada hates the French anyways.
Yeah, they hate each other. They hate each other.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah,
all
they
right.
can have their own country.
All right. Thank you, White James of Canada. Thank you very much. That's what his name is, by the way. Stay where you are. Condoms and pornos. What about the money shot, Garrett? Well, for those of you that spin through all of the all the acting in a porno, we're going to be talking to Stephen Hirsch, who is the head of the company Video, right? Vivid.
Vivid, yeah.
Vivid. And he is dealing with now this Los Angeles County law that says that porn actors have to wear a condom. And, of course, AIDS activists are saying they should do it and all that. Personally, I've seen a couple with the condom. It does ruin it for me. Yeah. It really does. They ought to just put something inside of the woman. And there's some sort of a cellophane or something you can just put in there.
Dental dam.
That we can't see, that's all. But Stephen Hirsch, who I understand Melissa Rivers is dating, supposedly, according to Howard Stern show the other day. He will be talking to us in a few moments about Stephen. Hey, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. How you guys doing?
Shalom, Stephen.
How are you?
That's Howard the Weatherman. Now, first of all, we got two things. We're going to talk about this incredible Star Wars XXX, a porn parody. But this condom thing, this is a multi-billion-dollar business, and now they're going to take, I don't want to see the latex thing covering the penis.
Well, I mean, I understand, and certainly there are many, many people who feel that it ruins the fantasy, but that's really not the issue. The issue is the safety of the performers. Right. And I think that our industry's proven over many, many years that safety comes first. Over the last probably 6 years, there's been several 100,000 adult scenes shot. And although it's true that 2 people have tested positive, it came from outside the industry, and only as a result of our testing procedures did they even find out. That they had tested positive. So I think that our testing works, and it works well.
Now, when you're in bed having sex and you put your penis into a woman's vagina and then you try and put it into her anus, normally the woman says, "Oh, we can't do that. You can't mix the two fluids." But when you watch these, double penetration things and all they're doing, that looks kind of shaky. I mean, what do you do in those situations? Is there a doctor there, or how do you deal with that?
Well, I mean, all of my directors are doctors. No, I'm just kidding. But
you know what I'm talking about, right? The vaginal and anal sex. There's Christina, do you allow that in your life?
Anal sex? No, not anymore.
Inside but you let them do it from the vagina into the anus without cleaning it with an alcohol wipe?
I don't want any of that. No.
There you go.
I don't want to mix fluids.
That's what I've always heard, Stephen.
Look, I mean, the bottom line is look at our results. Look at the results that this industry has had over many, many years. The performers, this is how they make a living. They are not going to endanger themselves, or they won't work. So I think that, again, it's been proven. Testing works, and it works well.
Now, what about in the old days when you'd watch these women and they go, well, she's a heroin addict, or they're loading her up with cocaine to get her to do all this stuff. Are you working on that too?
Well, I mean, the business has changed, by miles over the last 20 years. The girls who are in the business now, they really look at it as a career. And they are out there. Not only do they make movies, they webcam. They have internet sites. They are really out there promoting themselves. I mean, the truth is that there are many, many, many more women there than there are scenes that are being shot. So it's very competitive. And the girls who are successful really, really work at it. So I just don't think that that's an issue. Not that none of the girls in the business do drugs, but people in the world do drugs as well.
Right. Now, of course, Vivid, Stephen Hirsch is here, and award-winning, pornographic XXX stuff. The new movie, Star Wars XXX, a porn parody. It says here that this is going to be the biggest budget adult film ever produced. Can you give us a hint on what the budget is?
Well, we spent lots and lots of money on it, and I don't know if it's the largest adult movie ever shot because I don't look at other people's budgets. It is the biggest budget movie we have ever shot. It's huge. It's taken us a year to actually get this thing together and ready to put out. There are over 500 special effects. It's really good. It's really cool. You should check out the trailer on YouTube, and the movie will be available within the next couple of weeks.
Now, normally when people are watching a film, they fast forward, through the acting and the acting good enough?
You do.
Well, is the acting going to be good enough to kind of stick with it?
Well, I think so. And although it's true that, the guy who goes online, who, goes to one of the tube sites needs about 3 to 5 minutes. That's true. But
that's right.
there are also a huge group of people who watch these movies, and those are couples. And they either watch it on TV or they run a DVD, and they're looking for more than just the sex. I mean, in some cases, it's just about what the guy can get away with. And if he's with a woman, in some cases, they need a story to go along with it. And not only do they get a story with Star Wars, it's really good.
Now so you made a Star Wars, a XXX porn. You've made it a chick flick. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, it's
a date film.
Movie. Millions of women watch Star Wars, and what we have found through our research and just the enormous amount of people who are interested in watching this movie, a lot of them are women. And if you're going to parody, which is what this is, we poke fun at the original movie. It has to be good, and it has to keep the interest of both men and women.
Well, what keeps George Lucas from suing you?
Well, again, this is a parody, and we poke fun at the original. There is absolutely no chance that anybody will confuse this movie with Star Wars. This is fun. This is a parody.
Now, Tom Byron is playing Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's been in the industry, 30, 40 years, something like that?
I think 130 years, actually.
Is he still able to get the old lightsaber up and going?
Yes, I think he is. He's actually a really good guy. He worked hard on this movie. It was important. He really wanted to play that role. He does a great job. He's actually a very good actor. Now,
Chewbacca is in it. Because to me, Chewbacca in the normal conversation sounds like he's coming all the time. That that sound. Is Chewbacca, is he allowed to make that sound in the movie?
I don't know. You'll have to check it out for yourself, but something tells me he might.
Are there any black holes in space?
I've been told that there are, actually.
Right. I'm surprised you didn't get Michael Caine to be in it. He's in everything. I thought maybe he would just come.
We called him. He was busy.
Well, congratulations on that. And is it funny? Because I when I'm masturbating, I don't know that I want to be laughing while I'm masturbating.
Again, this movie is entertainment. So you check it out. It's fun. It's cool. And but then when you get to the sex is really good. And something tells me it'll get you off for sure.
Well, good. I would love to preview it and then do one of my critiques of it.
Well, we'll send you out one for sure.
Thank you. I'm only doing it for educational purposes.
Business purposes.
So, Stephen, thank you very much. And are there condoms in this parody of Star Wars?
No, the performers chose not to use condoms. And again, we're a condom optional company. You come onto our set, condoms are available. No repercussions if somebody wants to use a condom, but the performers overwhelmingly have decided that the testing works and it works well.
Okay.
Did you guys at one point say all your movies had to have condoms, or was that a different company?
No, we did. At one point, we were a mandatory condom company, but that's before the testing was put in place. And now that the testing has been around and has been for years and has proven to be effective, we've chosen to be a condom optional company.
Huh. Now, with all of the free stuff on the Internet and everything else, how do you, has the profit margin dropped for producers of porn?
Yeah, it's tough. There's no doubt about it. I call it kind of like, the perfect storm. There's tons of free porn out there. There's piracy out there. And, we're in a struggling economy, although things do seem to be getting better. But, what we've chosen the path that we've had for the last 27 years, and that is to make quality movies on a consistent basis. We've been fortunate enough to build a brand. People know when they go to Vivid or Vivid.com that they're going to get quality adult films. So ultimately, there may be fewer guys left, but the guys who are left standing will be stronger than ever.
Now, you've been in this industry, most of your adult life, I guess, many years.
Well, I started Vivid 27 years ago, so.
And so you can now have a successful relationship because you have been sucked and fucked probably to the point where you're exhausted.
Well, I'll tell you. I'm in a good relationship now, a healthy relationship now, and it's all good. And you should check out her show on.
I will, but what I'm saying is that you're the ultimate. You're the guy that a woman could really settle down with because you've seen it all, and you're probably exhausted.
I don't know. You become sort of desensitized to it after a while. I mean, I've been in this industry for so long. My father was in the industry, and like I said, I've had Vivid for 27 years. I worked for other companies before that. So, I really like to take a step back, look at it as a business, and, see how we can go out there and profit as best we can.
That's how my cousin looks at selling heroin. It's amazing.
I think I know your cousin.
27 years. Hey, listen, good luck with Star Wars XXX. Go to Vivid. You'll find it. And Stephen Hirsch, Vivid.com. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Jay. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. Pretty honest guy, huh? Now we're going to get a copy of this, the Star Wars. I need you to make 8 copies as soon as we get his original.
Okay.
Now, is that part of the thing, the piracy thing, that as soon as we get the copy, can we make copies of it pretty easily? Can we just burn other copies? Or is there something in there that stops us from doing it?
I don't know if pornos have the little code to stop you from doing it, but all the codes have been deciphered and easily decrypted anyway.
Is there somebody there in the building that can decrypt it for us if we need decryption? So that Ira can get because I want to give this out as a like a special holiday gift.
A gift.
As a holiday gift. So, well, Ira, by the way, this is Science Wednesday. And
yes, it is.
Christina has mentioned that it is an odd day. It feels odd. There has been many solar eruptions that are taking place. I don't think it affects our signal. There was a time when certain signals were affected by these radiation storms on the sun, and it is happening, I think, right now as we speak. And so maybe, Christina, these radiation storms, I believe...
That's got to be it.
I believe that anything that happens in the atmosphere affects humans and animals. When you see animals get affected by something, and we basically have the same, makeup of mammals, why wouldn't it affect us, right? All kidding aside, do you know that at the psych wards and in insane asylums and everything else, when there's a full moon... Do you know there are many more crazy things that happen to people that are mentally unstable during a full moon?
Gee.
On the full moon. Now, when the moon is full for you, Ira the Weatherman, do you ever feel nutty sometimes?
No.
Never.
But there was somebody that was really nutty.
Who?
Years and years ago.
Who was that?
His name was...
The werewolf? The werewolf.
He lived in the Bronx.
Berkowitz?
Berkowitz, David Berkowitz.
The son of Sam. He would only kill during the full moon. I didn't know that.
That's right, Jay.
I did not know that.
And
that's when the dogs would howl. Mm-hmm.
This guy was a real nut.
Well, yes, I think we can all agree with that. But anyway...
but he got away with it, and then they caught him. And now he's trying to get out from jail.
Well, he's a born-again Christian or something. He's very religious.
That's right.
So the rumor used to be that he would wait until the couple started to have sex in the car, and then he would shoot them.
That is right, Jay. And
when I was on radio in New York, I'd just gotten there when that was happening. I had a couple of those people. One guy that had been shot through the head, Garrett, would come up to my show. I'd interview them.
Mm-hmm.
And the program director and a lot of the folks up there didn't quite get why I was bringing the people up that had been shot by the guy. And there was a woman whose daughter had been shot, and the guy was with her. He lived, and they would kind of come up and be, guests on the show and stuff. What was odd to me is, even though they'd lived through this horrible thing, they kind of got into being, like on TV and radio. It became, it's weird, when it was focused on them. And I did ask the guy about sex. That was the last time they did our interview.
No.
And of course, they got upset, very upset. And I think Berkowitz would sit on the swings or something and then wait. And by the way, back then, I'm telling you, man, it was, everybody was nervous. Everybody was really scared.
All the women were nervous.
Yes, and there were these places where you would go to make out and stuff, like by parks and everything else.
Like Lover's Lane.
Lover's Lane and all. Even though there's no killer, there's no way in my entire life I could have a woman with her pants down on a dark road. No way I'm getting a hard on. None. I am much too scared for that nonsense.
It's really coming out, your paranoia.
I am paranoid of the dark. I do not like the dark. And, what I would do is have them open the back door to the car, and I would keep my shoes on, and I would have them stick their ass out of the back door of the car, because I wanted to be able to escape if a killer came or a murderer.
Now, did he only just kill the women or both the guys?
He shot them all. Oh. He would wait till the girl was going down on the guy or whatever, and he'd stick the gun in the car and he'd kill him.
Then he got busted because he had a parking ticket, right?
Something crazy, something nutty. By the way, I said Ron Reagan Jr., of course, that was the ballet dancing son, who's a liberal. It's Michael Reagan, who a little while ago I mentioned is the announcer, the broadcaster who, they couldn't stand him. Poor little bastard. He was adopted. They barely invited him to the funeral, and when he gave the speech at the funeral, his of course Reagan's real blood brother, blood son, Ron Reagan Jr. at the funeral disputed his own brother's eulogy. It was unbelievable. It's nuts. Complete idiot. Typical insecure guy. Adopted by somebody famous who didn't pay any attention to him. Let's go to Dave of Vermont. Yes, Dave?
Hey, Dave.
Yes, sir.
This is by far the strangest show on Wasteland 104 to date.
You mean this episode of the Jay Thomas Show is the strangest?
This episode where you've gone from the preacher down south, who I thought was fascinating, to the guy from the AVN who sounds like he's 1 mild stroke away from sounding like Larry Flint.
Yes, well, that's what I like about the show. It can go in any direction whatsoever. So now you're in Vermont, and I don't know, the only discrimination you have there, there's a lot of dairy farms there, a lot of cows, right?
Yeah, well, it's funny. It's in a state that's like 98.5% white. The only color you see are people from refugee programs. We have, and it's amazing. There are people from the Sudan. Some of the Lost Boys, those guys who walked for months to get away, got an education, and are making something of their lives. They're graduating, they're doing great. But I lived in New York. I moved up here 10 years ago, and even today, I'll be walking down the street and I'll say, "Hey, there's a black guy."
That's what it's like in Vermont. There's a black guy.
Yeah, because it's so white, you have no idea.
Huh. Good. Thank you, Dave, very much. Thank you, Dave. That was a wonderful call.
Dave, hold on one second before I forget. Next time you're in New York, you must go with Ira to Yonkers Raceway. It is the biggest shithole you have ever seen.
I know Yonkers Raceway.
Yonkers Raceway happens to be wonderful.
I would not go there on a bet. That is a stink hole, Ira. That is a horrible.
No, it isn't, JJ.
It's a stink hole.
That place is number one. Number one. What do I have in front of me, Garrett?
He's got his gambling card to get.
When you have a choice of taking the New York State Thruway or Central Avenue to get to a place, just turn around.
Well, it's a nice, clean place, nice people, and sometimes you can hit, sometimes you can't hit.
Uh-huh. All right.
It all depends on the machine, Jay.
I
was over there this past Sunday.
Yeah.
I brought $2.40 with me. I walked out with $14 extra.
You brought $2.40 and walked away with $2.54.
That is right.
Wow.
Hey, that's a winning day in Yonkers.
Well, and that's at the penny machine, isn't it, Ira?
That's on a penny machine.
And how long were you there? Were you there 19 or 28 hours?
I was over there from 7 o'clock
p.m.
until 10:30.
3.5 hours. Wow, $14.
Yes.
If you worked at McDonald's, you'd have made more money.
Maybe more money. Who knows?
Yeah, but not as much fun, right?
That's right.
All right. Dave of Vermont, thank you. Let's go to John of the Bronx. Yes, John.
Hey,
Jay Thomas.
John.
Oh, boy.
How you doing? Hey, how you guys doing?
We're good, thanks.
All right. Just wanted to touch base on what you were talking about before. It kind of ties into your porno industry thing.
Yes.
With the astronauts having sex in space.
Right. I was thinking maybe there's not enough blast out of your balls to get the sperm out, but I could be wrong.
No, definitely. I do some research. I'm working on a PhD, and I do research with the astronauts and stuff. And there's plenty of blast to get it out. But what happens up there is there's a lot of cosmic radiation. Mm-hmm. So in the long haul, it damages the sperm count. So chances are you may not have to use a condom in the future to protect yourself up there against getting pregnant anyway.
Are they jerking off in the capsules and these experiments we don't know about?
Well, there are things that the astronauts do to try it out for themselves. NASA doesn't officially sanction anything. They keep that stuff very quiet, but when you speak with the astronauts will tell you that some of the stuff is going on. It's like with the Russians. The Russians, I don't know if anybody's aware of it, but they carry with them up in the capsule a shotgun. There is a weapon taken into space with them. And they use the weapon when they come back to Earth because the Russian capsules drop in Kazakhstan. And one time when there was an American on board, the American was asked to open up the special cartridge they had in the middle of the casing. Mm-hmm. And there was a shotgun in there, and the Russian commander said, it's to keep the bears from attacking us when we open the capsule. Because they were off course. And they had to crawl out of the capsule. Once they're up on that space station for about 6 months, they can't walk. 3 to 6 months, they lose their ability to really walk.
So when they land, a Russian bear could eat them.
Well, that's what happens. You have wild, coyotes and stuff. Eric the Midget would never go out there to watch a landing, put it that way.
Eric the Midget. So sick of hearing it. I have to tell you, I don't know whether you're bullshitting me or not, but hit science,
would you? What part of the Bronx are you from?
Who gives a shit? He's talking about outer space, you fucking idiot. The Bronx. Now, look, John, so the astronauts will have to reach inside of their spacesuit and give it a little tug, or they're like sleeping or whatever, and they're out of their spacesuit, I guess, and they give it a little tug just to relieve themselves or for scientific purposes?
Well, to relieve themselves, but they run their own little experiment themselves to see what's going to happen out of curiosity, because inside the crew compartments where they sleep on the space station, there are no cameras in the compartment itself. So what they do in the compartment, they're closed in. They have their own privacy. They can do what they want.
Now, do the Russians ever bring women up there?
The Russians they've had their cosmonauts, the female cosmonauts have gone up with the Russians, and they do bring alcohol with them, and that's another bit that is the truth. They do bring
that I knew.
Up. Yeah, they bring
that I knew. Well, that's part of their culture. I mean, we're just so weird. I mean, the French drink wine, all the time and operate trucks and cars and everything else, and the Russians drink vodka, and they have trucks and planes and they take a shot of vodka before they go up in a jet to fight a war,
Oh, yeah. Well, they had a whole big thing with NASA where the astronauts took drinks before they flew on the shuttle.
Right.
They took drinks to calm the nerves down because it's a nerve-wracking experience sitting, on top of a shuttle with all that rocket propellant.
What I would hate is you're in the thing and you're taking off and all your vodka's being shaken out of the bottle. Hands are shaking, everything else. All right, thank you, John of the Bronx, a Ph.D. in aerospace technology. Unbelievable. Wow. That's crazy, isn't it? What a show. Let's go to Henry of Phoenix, Arizona. Yes, Henry.
Hi, Jay. I was wondering, you had a porn director on, and I was wondering, how would one go about becoming a porno screenwriter? Not a regular movie writer, but I think I've got some good ideas for porn, but I'm not really sure how to become a screenwriter in that industry, and I was wondering if you might share some thoughts with me on that.
Well, I would go to Vivid.com because the guy that he chose to direct this porno, the Star Wars thing, I guess he's a European or whatever, but each one of these pornos does have some cockamamie story attached to it. Now, this is a big production, but I would just probably, I would imagine they would be more interested in submissions from a normal guy like you than anybody in Hollywood would ever be. So I would just go to Vivid.com. Yeah, because I don't know that a lot of people are busting their ass to send stories into pornos.
Yeah, I think you got a good point there. I was wondering if you remember me. I call in quite frequently. I used to live in D.C. I'm the guy, Henry, in D.C. who called in to talk about taking a shit on his grandma's garage door, and I've called several times now that I'm out.
You called in saying you took a shit on your grandma's garage door. Refresh us. Do you remember that, Garrett? This story, the shitting on your?
No.
I know we don't remember.
I hope you didn't have diarrhea.
Well, we don't know yet.
Actually, Shuli was on. It was like an afternoon in the winter about a year ago, and because I used to live in Buffalo, you were talking about I should have really dug a hole in the snow. I called in your show probably at least 2 dozen times, but nobody seems to remember me.
No, you're a forgettable individual.
Maybe you should shuffle off to Buffalo.
Henry, first of all, let me hear, what is your idea that you're going to be sending into Vivid for the porno?
I was thinking of something called The Oral Office and have it based on the Clinton presidency. Or another one I thought of was Tea Party in Her Pants and have it be about kind of like a lesbian film about sort of like, Sarah Palin and all of those right-wing candidates, and then they go out and they campaign, but they go down on each other. And then, The Oral Office is really just a takeoff on a president who gets a lot of oral sex from different chicks, sort of loosely based on the Clinton presidency.
I love both of these.
I feel like a Tea Party one, though, really can't be just lesbians, because I think immediately, like, steeping a tea bag. You know what I'm saying?
I got to agree with you on that. You got to have a tea bag and Tea Party in her pants.
That's what I thought.
I agree with you. You got to have people teabagging. Maybe have almost like a Rand Paul character in there who can do some teabagging.
Yeah, just like a random teabag,
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm sure that they are just struggling for ideas. And, of course, the top-notch actors and actresses probably are waiting for your scripts. I would go to Vivid.com and just mention to Stephen Hirsch that you were listening to the show and that's what motivated you, and I think he'll probably respond. I wouldn't send him. I would send him maybe, a little bit of the idea or whatever, but don't give him all of it. Okay?
Yeah, I just wonder, what do you think a screenwriter for porn gets paid?
$100.
$100, really?
$100. What do you think, Garrett? $100? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably not even a screenwriter. It's probably just it's like probably Stephen Hirsch or something that just writes the stupid script.
No, you know what? I would imagine there's somebody putting the story together, and, I really would. I tell you what you need to do. You need to go and look at the credits, which nobody does. Yeah. The credits of some acting porno and see who wrote it, But try Vivid.com.
I did look at the credits, and someone was credited with writing a couple of them. And I come up with these ideas a lot, and people will tell me you should probably, write pornos. But I figured you probably can't make a living as a porno writer.
Well, I tell you what, and then I want to say goodbye. You should start producing them right there in your area. And you have the casting call. You get some guy there with it may cost you a few grand, but you will probably start your own little industry. You get everybody to sign that they make whatever they make, and they'll get a piece of the action at the back end when you sell it and all. There'll be women coming in there licking your camera, okay?
Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that.
All right. See you later, Henry. Goodbye.
Jay,
yes,
in
sir.
science,
yes,
Gingrich won't be president.
Ira, you were wrong about the Giants, and I don't know if he'll be president.
I was, Jay.
I'm thinking that Gingrich may, in fact, get this nomination.
No, he won't. Ron Paul.
No.
Ron Paul, that's what Steve said.
Steve
from
who?
the Bronx.
Steve's an idiot.
No, he owns a diner, so he knows.
No, he does not.
Not that diner?
No diner.
Not that Steve?
Different Steve.
You're lying.
I really mean this.
All right.
The screenwriter for Star Wars XXX, a porn parody, is Eli Cross.
Wow. See there? There you go.
And he's a director, too. He's a director of that movie.
Of the movies. Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. So there's somebody has to do it. And no, a guy in the office, even writing a piece of shit is not easy.
He directed Anal Team and The Anal Team 2, which I assume is the A-Team.
Of course. So he's into this parody thing. Team.
Grudge Fuck 6.
Well, they all show up at that convention in Las Vegas and get those cockamamie awards, you know. and they have the woman coming up there who did, you know, double penetration 5, and she wins some huge award for taking 6 penises inside of her. Oh my God.
He's also in the movie too. He's an actor in 23 movies.
So he's a porn actor and a writer.
And a producer or director.
Henry, it'd probably be better for you if you got a good body and you're well hung. That'd be, good. Instead of, you know what? It'd be funny. Instead of using that clapper thing, you just have like a big penis on top of a board, Clank, plunk, thud. Everything on the movie I would have had something to do with sex, There wouldn't be any normal thing. The camera would have like a lens on it that looked like a big giant dildo. Everything. The whole movie would be just sex. Let's go to Al of Toronto, Canada. Yes, Al.
How you doing, Jay?
Good.
I've been out of the truck for about half an hour, but I'd like to commend you on that interview with the Reverend. I don't know if it's too late in the show for that or not.
Oh, you can commend me at any time. I think some people were bored by it, and I was
not at all.
I was a little surprised because I'm not here to start some sort of big discussion.
Oh, no, like your listeners know that where you were heading when you started the interview, but then it took a right turn. But I think you handled it really well, and I found.
Well, I didn't know where it was going. Yeah, I did not know.
Extremely interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know where it was going, and you feel bad because you can't believe it. I would have packed my family up and moved to Ottawa so fast I can't even tell you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something, Jay. Like I'm born and raised in Canada. I'm as white bread as they come, and racism. You guys don't have the market on it, okay?
No, I'm sure we don't.
It's up here too. It's up here too, and word flying around. And I live in a very multicultural city just outside of Toronto, Brampton, and you see it all the time. And it goes.
Don't you have a lot of Indians and Vietnamese?
Extremely high amount of Indian, yes.
Right, and do they mix with the population? Do they marry the Canadian and all that stuff?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
All right.
No problem. But
that's what it's going to have to
that
be.
Way too, and both ways. And one thing I do have to say though.
Mm-hmm.
Thank the sweet baby Jesus Kevin wasn't in the studio
during the thing with the Reverend.
During the yes,
he would be asking if he'd ask the Reverend if he was.
He'd want to know if the kid on that T-shirt had a big penis or something.
Of course he would.
Yeah,
he would have said something horrible.
So,
all right.
Anyway,
all right.
I enjoyed it, Jay. Thanks a lot, and I love your show.
Thank you, Al, very much. Let's go to Joe of California. Yes, Joe, it's Jay Thomas. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Joe.
All the way down at the bottom, Garrett. That's Joe of Staten Island. All the way down to Joe of California. Yes, sir, go ahead.
I want to know if you won your NFL bets this week.
I did, and I mean this. I'm never doing this again. It's too nerve-wracking. I almost hurt myself yelling. And I read really a sweet story today, and it sounds hard to believe, but Peyton Manning, because I said this after I saw Moneyball, and I read that Billy Beane didn't watch the games. He was afraid he made the team lose, but he was the GM and all. Peyton Manning was working out, trying to get back in shape and all, in Indianapolis, and he watched his brother's team beat Atlanta. Then the next week, he was working out again, went to the same gym, same time at the facility, and his brother ends up beating the Green Bay Packers. So Peyton Manning didn't want to go with his family to San Francisco. He wanted to stay in Indianapolis and work out on the same machines and do everything he had done because he thought it would jinx his brother if he went to San Francisco and
but he
wasn't
did
in.
go.
Well, he did because he would have had to been in the gym at 9:00 at night. So he was really torn. It's a whole big article today. But when he went, he snuck into the stadium. Did you know that?
No, did not know that.
He bought a ticket on the
he's
slide.
1 hit away from not walking.
How do you know that?
3 surgeries in 15 months. 2
That's
on his,
bad.
Or 3 on his neck.
That's bad. But here's the other thing. They owe him $25 million in March.
Yeah, they'll cut him before then.
Probably.
I mean, they're going to sign Luck.
Well, they can sign him and get rid of him if they want to. But if he could play at all, the greatest thing would be if Peyton Manning were to be able to play, and then he's got this incredible young quarterback that maybe can take over for him. But I don't know if they have that kind of money. I don't know.
think he'd go for that.
Also, his older brother, or the middle brother, broke his neck in high school and never played again. So they got some kind of neck thing going there. But that was kind of but it's weird, isn't it? Here they are, these big pro football players, and yet he wanted to work out, so his brother won the game.
Yeah, everybody's got their superstition when it comes.
I really do. I really like the Giants in the Super Bowl. I do. Well, I believe that you got to go with the team that has the least injuries and the defense is clicking and everything else. I think it's the Giants in the Super Bowl.
Giants all the way, Jay. Giants all the way.
You're a fair weather fan.
Yeah,
you were against the Giants.
Hello? Jay?
Testing.
Look how mad he got over the Giants and the fair weather fans. What are you going to do?
No.
You don't know?
Just sit here. Hope he comes back.
Oh, okay. We're just going to sit here.
Ira, you host.
Testing 1, 2.
Ira, now's your big chance. Host the show.
This is the Jay Thomas Show. You want to call up?
Ira.
Yes.
Ira.
Yes.
Ira.
Yes.
Ira the weatherman.
I fight and I screw and I do both with a condom on. Who wants to pork a weatherman?
Ira.
Yes.
Ira.
Yes.
Ira.
Yes.
Ira the weatherman.
Great.
Ira the weatherman.
The 7 C's, Jay.
What is it, Ira?
That Norm was a cocksucker. Jay, I'm packing 8 inches soft.
Ira the weatherman.
Great. Thank you.
Well, there's a couple of crazy things out. A couple of crazy things out there. One is Demi Moore has been hospitalized for exhaustion. And exhausted from what is my question. And then there's a rumor that she was hospitalized for, when you say nitrous, you mean like the stuff that comes out of a Ready Whip can?
Like a Whip It.
Yeah,
Whip It
Whip It.
Well, look, I don't know if any of this is true, but there have always been rumors that she was, a player, and that when she was with, Ashton Kutcher, who I think is a complete idiot, and is just, being dragged along by whatever, that, they were supposedly doing, multiple sex partners and all kind of crazy shit. She's so incredibly skinny, it does seem like drugs or something. I don't know. But, look, she says they put her in the hospital for exhaustion. Exhausted from what? What are you exhausted from? Being sad? I don't know.
Those tears.
From crying.
Not acting? Has she done anything
She's
recently?
probably depressed because of, have you seen her children?
What's wrong with her children?
Ugh.
They're ugly?
Oof.
They look like Bruce Willis?
They all look like Bruce Willis, but with a girl body.
She's got 3 ugly kids. What about Rummer? How's she look?
Like Bruce Willis.
They're bald?
They might as well be.
Kids are all bald. Well, now we're being very rude. We don't know a thing about these people.
Perhaps, but
we don't know
I
a thing
can
about
see them, and it's Bruce.
What I think is really sad, and you can't plan anything like this, is Warren Beatty and Annette Bening. She's gorgeous. He's considered one of the most handsome men ever in the movies and all. And they've got that kid that isn't just becoming a boy or whatever, is like a wild transsexual, or and got mad at Chaz Bono and the whole thing. And there's Warren Beatty, banged all those women all of his life. Annette Bening was fabulous, and had all kind of lovers and stuff. And then they have a kid that comes out like with the wires all fucking crossed. Jesus Christ, It almost, it's sad. What are you going to do? A kid comes out, thinks it's, the
other sex?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you, I don't know what I would do. I have no idea. You deal with it, I guess. But you sort of want to just like sit them down and go, look, you've chosen a very difficult road here. And could you not go down this road, perhaps? If I thought I was a woman trapped in a man's body, I would never mention it.
But what if that urge was...
when I got off the air, I would go, la, 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 la. And I would do girly things, and I would have frilly things and all. And then the phone would ring. Hello? I'd become a man, that's all. I believe you hide being weird. I just do. I don't get this. You got to tell everybody what's going on. I don't get it.
But then you're living a lie.
No, you're not. You're living. You're not living a lie. You're living a normal life because that's what you have to do. There are just certain realities in life. We've talked about bigotry today. Bigotry and hatred and war and everything else has been around since man could lift a stick to hit another person from another tribe. That's, man's been on Earth, 300,000 years or whatever? Boink, right in the head.
6,000.
6,000. Well, according to the people from Kansas, to Brownback and those assholes from Kansas. But yeah, I just think you cover it up. That's all. And then if you have to have an explosion, you have like a group of people that maybe know this is what you do, and that's that. Don't you think that your parents' generation, my parents, my generation, there were all kinds of people that had all this shit. I never heard of any of this shit until, about 15 years ago? Something like that? People changing their sex, and, I mean, there would be one or two people,
But they got beat up and kicked the shit out of.
That's
so everyone
right.
was afraid to say
So that's
anything.
another thing you do. When you are a woman trapped in a man's body, you lead people to beat others that are like you, so you cover it up even more. Come on, let's get that queer. Yeah. And then you beat him, you go, la, 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 la. What was that? I don't know. I don't know what that came from. La, 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 la. Oh, man. You know what? I don't know. But Demi Moore is in some sort of real trouble.
Oh, yeah.
And she's anorexic or whatever. When you take a lot of drugs or speed, you don't want to eat. And if she's trying to be thin and all that other stuff. Well, speaking of nuts, do you have the audio of, I believe she's in Brazil, and Courtney Love is on stage with her band Hole. Of course, she's half naked. And
recently?
Yeah, some guy holds up
a... She still performs with that? I didn't even know.
Oh, yeah. And, here's another one. Hole is whatever it was, but she's only famous, just like Jennifer Aniston gets movies because Brad Pitt dumped her. Just like this woman, Michelle Williams, who we said earlier, any lookalike at Universal Studios could have played Marilyn Monroe in that movie and not have to go through all the incantations she did. But she works because Heath Ledger, died of an overdose waiting for one of the skanks, one of the skanky Olsen twins. What do you mean?
She's bigger
She's bigger than he is.
No.
He had one movie that I guess broke back too, but
He
she
was like a teen pop, stupid,
Yeah.
like singing
You
on
guys
stadium steps kind of movie guy.
You guys in your generation or your certain, I'm sure, I know that show also.
They're part of our generation.
They are, but to the masses, Heath Ledger was more known than Michelle Williams. I'm just telling you.
Only because
my
he
kids,
died.
No, my kids knew more about Heath Ledger. I knew more about Heath Ledger than I knew about Michelle Williams. That's all.
I don't get that.
Well, anybody that does a movie and lets her husband kiss another man is weird. Okay?
Amen.
Weird.
She met him on that set, right?
That's how they met? After he'd finished tonguing jelly,
no, that's
jelly
not
balls.
I don't remember. Don't
licking each other and all that. Jelly balls. What's his name?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
He's so delicious.
Yeah,
And
right.
His sister is not, and can she stop being?
Can you imagine, Garrett? You and I are tonguing, and then you start dating Christina. Oh God! Cut! Oh God, you were good, Garrett. Thanks. Oh God, all of it fucking disgusts me.
Jake
all of it.
Gyllenhaal is the baby Matilda's godfather too.
Oh,
so they're like
I'm sure.
all incestual on that.
So now you got Demi Moore falling apart. Now here's Courtney Love. Do you have her? She's on stage.
Shit, this is fucking hard. I don't need to see a picture of Kurt, asshole. And I'm gonna have you fucking removed if you keep throwing that up. I'm not Kurt. I have to live with this fucking shit and this ghost and this kid every day. Throwing that up is stupid and rude. And I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you, do it again. You know what? You weren't fucking married to him. I fucking was. You didn't get kicked out of a band by him like Dave. He did.
What?
Go see the fucking Foo Fighters and do that shit. Great. We'll leave now. Fuck you.
She walks off.
She left?
Yep. She gave the crowd the finger and just walked out.
Wow.
Because one guy held up a picture of Kurt Cobain, she left the stage.
Yeah, I mean, there's still like 2 minutes of this video, but...
And you're telling me that she's famous because she's Courtney Love of Hole? Bullshit. She's famous because she was married to Kurt Cobain.
That I'm not arguing with.
And he died at the Chelsea Hotel, and, was she there with him when he died?
No.
Where did he die?
He shotgun shot.
Who were the two in the Chelsea Hotel? That was, they OD'd in the hotel together. Who was that? They made the movie out of them.
Yeah. Sid and Nancy?
That's right. They did the Chelsea.
She played Nancy in a Sid
That's
Nancy
right. That's
movie.
why.
Yeah.
Now, here's what's... So these two assholes really died the Chelsea. The Chelsea is booked for the rest of the 20 years later. It's booked because the assholes died in the fucking hotel. Can you imagine? Somebody dies in one of your houses and you keep booking the house.
You guys want to see Courtney back?
Oh, please.
All right, then repeat after me after three.
Oh boy.
The Foo Fighters are gay. 1, 2, 3.
Don't say it.
Are you kidding?
Gente, não é pra gostar do Foo Fighters. É pra gostar do Hole, por favor.
Oh, they had to say it. Had to say it in Portuguese. She's speaking Portuguese. So the Australian guy says, "Say the Foo Fighters are gay," and then the Portuguese had to say it in Portuguese.
Now she's coming out and she's bowing to the woman that said it in Portuguese.
I don't care what you listen to at home, but a guy takes money off my kid's table, fuck him.
What is
What is
that?
she talking about?
A guy held. Yeah, he got. I don't know the whole
He's
story.
trying to get rights to the songs instead of just her.
Isn't she having a lot of problems right now with her apartment, too? Like her landlord wants to sue her or wanted to sue her.
She's nuts.
Yeah, she's out of her mind.
Completely fucking nuts. And people are, going into a place to see her sing. Are you kidding? It's unbelievable.
Well, it's Brazil or whatever.
Right. Hey. Let's go to Leroy of North Carolina.
Hey, Leroy.
Yeah, no, don't do it like that, Ira. Yes, Leroy. We're not, it's not the Amos and Andy show all of a sudden. All right, Ira? Yes, all Leroy. Right. Go ahead, Leroy.
Now that I've been shit upon by that thought of that nasty girl who thinks she used to be married to what's his name. Ooh, nasty. But I just want to get back to the Manning subject. There was a quote by Peyton Manning to his brother Eli that he didn't want to go to the game, Jason, but he said, after you get through with San Francisco, why don't you come to my house for the Super Bowl?
Oh.
And also, my wife and I thank you for the 2 pictures you sent us. I've got them framed on the wall. When people come over, they say, hey, that's Jay Thomas. How did you get those pictures? I said, I just called them up and asked for them. Thanks.
The easiest show to get on, the easiest 8x10 glossy to get. Well, that's good. Thank you. And by the way, when you're doing it doggy style, my eyes go up and down. Okay. All right. Thank you, Leroy. Ira, I'll see you Friday morning.
Jay.
Christina, shut up. Christina and Garrett, I'll see you tomorrow. All right.
Bye.
By the way, Ira, what are you doing the rest of the afternoon?
The rest of the afternoon, I'm going to sign autographs at Empire City.
No, he's not. He's not doing that. What a stupid show.